You're seeing pad level lower, and guys are rocking off the ball, and I think the running backs are running hard. But I don't think we're in any place right now to make any judgments on where we are. But that was what we did on Saturday.
Far left, Joe Nugent, WCMH.
Were you satisfied with the rotation at right guard, and is that something you can see doing moving forward?
Yeah, I think both those guys deserve to play. I mentioned that last week, and they both did. We'll continue to evaluate it and grade and make sure, but we all know we're going to need these guys, and that's the thing. Whether it's Travion and Quinchon or Austin and Tegra, I mean, these guys are team players, and they want to win. It's the number one thing here. It isn't about statistics or anything like that, and there'll be plenty of snaps to go around. We know that. So this week we got a new challenge ahead of us, conference game on the road. So those guys will help each other, and we'll see how this week of practice goes, and as we get closer to the game, put a plan together.
Far right, Cameron T. Robinson, The Athletic.
Brian, when you look back at film or even talk to Jaden, what did you see that went wrong in his kickoffs, and how do you evaluate that going forward?
Yeah, I just talked to him about his mindset, and he gave me some information just about a little tweak that he had, and he's either has to make the correction or has to communicate to us that there was an issue. So talked to him for a while though about that and how much we need to move forward.
When you say tweak, injury or just something he changed in his what he was doing?
Yeah, he felt a little something somewhere early on, and wasn't able to quite make the adjustment from there. So nothing long term or anything like that.
All right, Adam King, WBNS.
Coach, getting ready to go on the road for the first time, how much does changing, going downtown before the home games help get you prepared, or does it at all? How do you change your weekly thing as you get ready for conference play on the road?
We try to keep it as close to our normal routine as possible. I would say that we do have a little bit more of that feel when we're downtown, that we're on our own and a little bit more isolated, which is good. I think it avoids some distractions as much as we liked being here on campus. But this is new. I mean, you're going on the road in a conference environment. I'm sure they'll have a great crowd, night game. They're playing good football, so we've got to face our first challenge on the road, and that comes with a lot of different things. And like you said, new traveling and handling the crowd noise and all the above. So good challenge for us. We're looking forward to it.
Right next door, Dave Holmes, WSYX.
Yeah, so Michigan State's had 3 close games. You guys obviously haven't had one. And I know the goal is not to play a close game. You'd rather win by 40 or 50. But how much does the experience of a close game matter, and how do you simulate that with your guys when you haven't experienced it in real time?
I think when you have a young team, I think it's significant. I think our guys have played a lot of football and been around a lot of games, different styles of games. So we should be able to adjust pretty quickly.
Front row left, Dave Little, 24/7 Sports.
Back to right guard for a moment. When you guys are making a decision like that to rotate, how do you balance, can we want to have cohesion up front with the same 5 guys, get Tegra as many reps as possible, getting Donnie back, with also wanting to build that depth with getting Austin in there? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think giving both of them a chance to catch their breath for a series or two is actually a good thing for a young player. So we look at that during the week. We'll rotate those guys during the week so that there's chemistry between Josh Fryer, Seth, and both of those guys when they're in there. And I think when you practice that way and then you play that way, there isn't all of a sudden like this chemistry issue or anything like that. As long as whoever's not in the game is really focused in, seeing the plays on the tablet, seeing the adjustments in real time, I think that's good. And I do think that is a benefit to having the tablets is, although they're not in there getting the rep, they can actually see what happened in the last series and make any kind of adjustments that are going on in game.
Follow-up, is Tegra definitely the starter there, or is it a pretty good battle there between him and Austin? Or
yeah, we're going to keep moving forward just like we just did, and let these guys both play. And as of right now, Tegra's going to start, but they're both going to play, and I think they're excited about that. And I do think it's good for them, especially early on, to have a series to catch their breath and then get back in there.
Dylan Davis, Delaware Gazette.
Devin Brown got a chance to get in there and throw the ball around a little bit. What was your assessment of Devin and how he played?
A couple, the third down conversion was good. He did miss a couple throws, so probably not as much in the game to really make a huge evaluation on. But every play is an evaluation. We're trying to build that depth, and so the development has to keep coming in practice, and we get in there in a game, we want to move the ball down the field and score touchdowns.
As you enter conference play, these chances to get these guys in the game might be a little bit more difficult to come by. Is Devin still your unquestioned number 2 quarterback right now? Is that a competition at all still?
Guys are competing every day in practice. He would be our number 2 right now, but yeah, that's across the board. Everyone's got an opportunity to compete, and there's 5 guys in that room that want to get out there, and so to say they're not competing every day wouldn't be right for them. They got to come and bring it, and so we'll have opportunities today and this week in practice to evaluate them and kind of see where we go. But right now he is our 2.
Right behind him, Andy Baxter, Letterman Row.
Yeah, Ryan, what makes Carnell so valuable when the ball isn't in his hands? Like whether it's perimeter blocking, pre-snap motion, feels like you guys lean on him for a lot. Just what makes him so valuable in those situations?
His accountability is tremendous. His blocking, his attention to detail, like you said, his route running, the precision of his routes. And he's had a great guy in Emeka to look up to. We saw Marvin work last year, but he's carving out his own legacy here. He's a guy that we look to who has become a major part of our offense and someone that does a lot of things for us. He's on punt return. He's running a lot of the stuff there. He's extremely talented, running routes and catching balls, and so you can see all that. But he's becoming a complete football player and also a leader.
Coach, how much more do things ramp up now that the non-conference is over and you're going into Big Ten play and scout Sparty for you?
Yeah, it's always about us. So, we always say that the opponent doesn't matter. But all that being said, going on the road and a conference opponent is a big deal. So everything's got to ramp up. And now we're into game 4, and we got to keep upgrading each week. So we got to have a great week of practice, and everything needs to ramp up. I think. First off, I think, Jonathan's done a really good job already of establishing an identity there. I feel like, they have a really good quarterback, good young quarterback who can do a lot of different things. He can beat you with his feet. He's made some really nice throws, in some big games for them, and won a game on the road already at Maryland, and so for a young quarterback, that's should give him a lot of confidence. On defense, they're playing really, really hard. You can tell they're well coached. So I think he's upgraded in a lot of areas, and he's doing a good job. So, we got to, this is a Big Ten road game for us, and we got to bring it.
The Landis, Kings of the North.
Right, you guys have been really explosive passing, just like a lot of short stop screens and slants and all that kind of stuff. As the offense continues to evolve, would you like to see more vertical shots in the offense, or are you pretty comfortable with where you are now and how kind of precise you've been on the shots?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. I think we want to always, be able to run it right at you, run it outside, run it or throw the ball, horizontally and throw it vertically. And when you can do all those things, you're putting the defense in the highest amount of stress as possible. And a big part of that, though, is what the defense is giving. If they want to play, real deep and keep it in front, then we got to do a good job being efficient with those. If they start to challenge a little bit more, then we got to get behind them and run by them. So if you can do all of those things along with, in the run game, have the quarterback involved with it. Again, we feel like that's putting a lot of stress on the defense. And but the key is, when they take away something, can you get to the next thing? And that's what's important. But we've worked hard to try to make sure we have diversity within the offense.
Will had said, I think in camp, that he was trying to work on being a more consistent downfield thrower. He hasn't had a large, volume of downfield targets just yet. But what have you made of that so far?
Yeah, no, he's really made some great balls and great throws in practice, and he's really made a lot of progress. He has. So long way to go. Still early in the season, but he can make them all, and he's done it in practice, and so I think the timing is continuing to improve. You can just see, the ball's coming out of his hands, and the receivers are maybe even not even out of their break quite yet. That's a good sign. Those are all good signs, and and our guys do such a great job downfield of going up and getting it too. So there's a lot of opportunity and a lot of games ahead of us.
Tony Gerdman, Buckeye Huddle.
How much feedback do you get from Will during the week? I know he'll ask, what do you feel comfortable about? But in terms of who he wants to get involved, or what he's seeing from his teammates that, maybe he's giving feedback on them? Like, can we get Carnell involved, stuff like that?
We always want to make sure that we're getting everybody involved. Now, a big part of that is, whatever it takes to go score a touchdown. I mean, that's the number one thing here. But, we want to put stress on the defense. How do you do that? You spread the ball around. So that's something we just do naturally. But there's a lot of conversation on a daily basis during the day, conversation on the field, conversation after the field, text messages at night, all those types of things. But most of the conversation is between he and Chip and, in those meetings. But I'm right there as well. It's great because Chip brings such a different perspective to the table for us. But at the same time, there's certain things that, we've seen over the years that we know show up in some, some of these, opponents that we're playing and what's coming down the road in the Big Ten. And Will has his own experience of playing in the Big 12 in those games. So a lot of good conversation there, and I think it's all healthy.
Has that picked up since the season started, or was that something that's been going on, since the spring, or when did things really pick up in terms of the conversation?
I don't know if there's any. I mean, it's always been good. I think as he's starting to learn the offense, he gets more and more comfortable. He's able to give more feedback on what he's seeing, and I think it's good to get in here and watch film on your own before the coaches even get to you. What are you seeing? And if he comes in with some different ideas that are in line with us, then we know we're getting the mindset correctly. We're teaching it the right way, and he's understanding it. So it's good to get some of his thoughts, on a Monday when he's watched the film fresh.
Matt Murphy, 24/7 Sports.
Rodney, we haven't talked a ton about tight ends, but you guys are obviously using a number of them. How, to the average person, it may not come across, but how impactful are they in terms of what you guys are doing offensively?
I think the tight end position here is critically important because it can put a lot of stress on a defense in different ways. The running and the blocking and the pass catching and all those different things can really create a mismatch for us. And when we're able to get in and out of personnel groupings, we feel like that also gives us a little something. So we're always talking about, how do you put stress on the defense? And this is another way for us to, to try to do that by changing up these personnel groupings. And having tight ends that can do multiple things allows us to do that.
Steven Means, Cleveland.com.
I think it was interesting for you having to make some hires at times that you necessarily don't have to make hires. How well did you know Carlos Loughlin, if at all, before that situation arose where you had to go find a running back?
The first time I met him was on a Zoom call during an interview, and we had interviewed, Chip and I, several candidates. I think he might have been 8 or 9 or 10 or somewhere along there. And he almost interviewed us. He had a presentation ready. He gave his drills. I mean, I think we said hello and he ran it from the rest of the way. And it was like, this is our guy. I mean, he was tremendous. And then shared with us his story. Now, we had done a little background, but to hear the whole story of how he got into the game and his passion and, he knew everything about Chip. He knew everything about me. He had knew everything about Ohio State going into the interview. And it was just really, really impressive. And, when it came to like the run game, identifying, what the blocking schemes were like, how the running back runs, in these type of run schemes and what he's looking for, and then how does he drill it, and the mindset, and mentality. But of all the things that I liked the most, it was his mindset and his mentality. Yeah.
See, there's a lot of guys on that offensive staff where you did have prior relationships with them before, obviously in different roles in your life, right? With him, it just seems like outside guy, you needed to go find a running backs coach. And as you're talking about, that guy just wowed you away. Having that guy who maybe doesn't necessarily think the way a lot of you guys do, how was he added to the room overall when you guys are sitting in those offensive meetings right now?
I think some people ask, what are some of the things that you've learned? Every year you learn more as a head coach. And, I didn't know Jim Knowles when I hired him. I had never met him before. And the same thing with Carlos. And I think what you want to do is you want to go hire the best fit, but you got to hire the best person for the role in that time. And so you got to be thorough, and sometimes it takes more time to make sure you bring in the right person for that spot. And we felt like Carlos was that guy. But I think anytime you come in with a buy-in, but also a different perspective, it's healthy for the room. Ask questions, challenge. Have you ever thought about doing it this way? This is the way we've done it. Show you some clips of film. Just to kind of splash the water, I think is great. And I think early on, you got to kind of learn the way that it's, our system works, which he's done a great job of. But even now, just gives little ideas here and there out of practice of things that, he's done at some of his prior stops. And that's all really, really healthy stuff. It just gives you perspective too.
Spencer Holbrook, let him in row.
Brian, we talked so much about the interior of the offensive line, but what have you seen so far from Josh Simmons? I'm sure it's good when you don't hear much from the left tackle, but he's been penalty free through 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think Josh has played much more physical. He's finishing to the ball more. He's finishing to screen more. He's put more time in studying. He's a year into the system. So, we're counting on him to, be, the left tackle that we need to go reach our goals. Still early, but you're seeing progress there.
Stefan Kreisnik, Finland.com.
You ready, Paul?
Yeah.
Okay. With Travion and kind of the combo that he's had with Quinn-Sean, where have you seen him kind of growing? How do you think he's kind of embraced the role of splitting the reps more?
I think they've both been excellent. Yeah, and I think that's people ask all the time, but they pull for each other. And you can see in this game, they both had great games. They both were the player of the game on offense for us. And, when Quinn-Sean's got a great run in front of the team, Trey's cheering him on and vice versa. So they know what a long season it is. And I think they both make each other better.
And Hope, 11 Warriors.
Ryan, do you expect Tyleek Williams to be able to practice and play this week? And what was your assessment just overall of how the other defensive tackles played against Marshall?
Yeah, I think that Tyleek's day to day. He'll be out there today. We'll see how it goes. I think when you watch the film, there was good play, but there needs to be more consistent play. And so, there's a lot to learn from there and a lot to grow from. And this is an opportunity to build depth in that room. When Tyleek, is out there, he certainly makes his impact felt. And just like when we lost Donovan there for those couple weeks, it was an opportunity. And so you learn about that when you have to step into that role. It's different than when you're, playing 10 to 15 snaps in a backup capacity to when you're the guy. So good challenge for those guys. And I think, everybody in that room would tell you that there was some good plays, but there needs to be more consistent play.
Steve Hellwagen, 24/7 Sports.
Just put my hand up and get right in. I want to ask about the defense, just some problems getting off the field on 3rd and 4th down this past week. Was there a consistent theme to anything that you guys saw, or some things that maybe future opponents could hone in on to convert some of those in future games?
Yeah, every time you get done with the game, you evaluate it and try to sort through, what went well and what needs to improve. And, there's, I'm not going to get into all the different things right now, but, there was definitely some plays on 3rd down that we'd like to have back, that we'd like to execute better.
Is pass rush where you want it right now, just 1 sack? This past week, and it wasn't even out of the regular 4-man, it was out of the Rushman kind of special package.
I think what's important for everybody to understand, and that includes, JT and Jack and our guys, is, if an offense decides that they're not going to give up any sacks, they can run the ball every play, throw RPO, or get a ball out of their hand quickly. And so it isn't a game of stats. What you got to do is you got to stop the run. And if the quarterback, is in a situation where he's looking to run quarterback draw or quarterback power or those type of things, we got to stop the run first. The sacks will come. So, just to go out there and think you're just going to go sack the quarterback, if one of the things that the other, side of the ball decides is we're not just going to take a 5-step drop and hang on to the ball, then those opportunities aren't going to be there. You have to defend what the other team is trying to do. And so, that's just the bottom line. And, when you have talented pass rushers like that, you're going to get some different styles of play. And so we all just have to make sure that, we understand the goal is first is to stop the run. And then secondly, it's obviously, about disrupting the passing game. But there's different ways to disrupt the passing game. And to think that, we're just going to, guys are just going to drop back pass in a game like that, is going to happen. The ball came out quick. Quarterback did not hang on to it. So, there's a lot of things that come with that, and we could talk about this for hours, but I want to make sure that the number one goal is the number one goal, and that's to stop the run and get off the field on 3rd down, whatever that takes. And it may not be a sack.
Joey Kaufman, Columbus Dispatch.
Did you hear anybody from the Woody days about going into the tee on that seat with Will Howard?
The tee, well, yeah, Chip brought it out in the spring game, and that was kind of robust there to show a little respect to Coach Hayes and the way they used to run the ball here. So we wanted to do that then. Now that formation gives us a little something. It gives us some balance, and so we'll continue to build on it as the season goes on.
Is Chip ran a lot at UCLA? Was that sort of something or not a lot, but he ran it somewhat at UCLA? Was that something he kind of suggested he was something he could do?
Absolutely. Yeah, that was something he's got a little bit of background in. So we spent some time talking about it this off season and looked at some different things out of it, and so when appropriate, we'll utilize it.
For our left, Whitney Harding, WCMH.
Hi Ryan, kind of a left field question. I was just going to ask you, have you heard about the story about Michigan State's Armorian Smith and that he's raising his 5 siblings? I mean, it's just a truly incredible story, and I was wondering what your thoughts were on, what these kids on a regular go through.
Right.
And the extra time that he's putting into all of this.
Yeah, I was told secondhand a little bit. I don't know all the details, so it'd be hard for me to comment on it. But I certainly, what I've heard, have a lot of respect, for that situation and understand the challenges that I can't imagine what that challenge is like. But and everything that it sounds like he and his family have gone through. So it's one of the things that kind of gets lost a little bit. Is that these are young men, and not everybody's has the same family situation or dynamic, and that's why we always have to make sure we focus on our one of our goals here is to raise great young men and to be supportive and those type of things. And so again, I don't know all the details, but certainly have a lot of respect and have definitely thought about what that means for he and his family.
Austin Ward, the podcast.
Ryan, just last week you were in here talking about with the tackles that Caden and Will, Jason might have some opportunities, and I don't know if it was a challenge to them for Saturday or if you thought those guys were ready to take on more reps. Did what happened Saturday trouble you at all with the depth? Is that just a product of being out there for the first time? Was the depth? Is it not where you guys really want to tackle? I'm throwing a lot out there.
No, I know. You're trying to figure out what was the evaluation coming out of it. Yeah, I get it. I think, again, it was a mixed bag. Do we want to see more consistent play? Yeah, we do. Like the 4th down stop by Tywan Malone was a really good play. He took an adjustment that happened in game, and that happened on the sideline, and he made it on the field and made that play. I thought he had a really good play in a screen. He put his foot in the ground, redirected, and made a play. But then there's also some clips of film that we got to be better. So, but I think that's I think about when Austin got put into that role in the first couple of weeks here in preseason camp. It wasn't very good because you have to almost recalibrate yourself to this is what I got to bring every single play. I can't it's not just 10 or 15 plays, and I got to bring it every single play. So, we'll see where that goes this week. We'll see where Tyleek's at, but. When those guys do get in there, we're counting on, an adjustment to be made and some progress to be made there.
Was the nature of that game with some of what they were running with the quarterback, the heat, the temperature on the field, the rubber melting or whatever, did it make it difficult at all? I know that you guys aren't going to ever lower the standard or expectation once you're out there and wearing that uniform, but did it make it more complicated to evaluate when all those factors are in there?
No, because they're the same for both sides, and, we're not going to make any excuses about that. I mean, either do your job or you don't. And there's a lot of things that could come into play. Like you said, there was some unique schemes in there, but still, ultimately, you did your job or you didn't. You either graded out a champion or you didn't, and I think ultimately we have to make sure that we keep it just, black and white, and that's what it is. And either you did your job or you didn't. You played good enough to win or you didn't. And so there's a lot that comes with that. And it's like instant feedback on how your preparation went. How did you practice? How was your meetings? How were your walkthroughs? Did you spend enough time watching film? All those things. How about, did you get enough rest? Did you hydrate well enough, the night before? So, you got to evaluate all those things, figure out what you did well, enhance them. The things you didn't do, you got to get them fixed. And that's a part of the progress. But you're getting good feedback when you're getting way more reps against, the ones than you would typically, if you're playing as a backup. So, we'll see. We'll see where this thing goes. But they've certainly been challenged, and I know everybody in that room is going to work hard to get it to where we need it to be.
Bill Benowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
When you got the 4 big transfers, Will, Steph, Caleb, and Quinshon, you knew they were talented. But it's one thing to integrate them, and have they done and been everything that you hoped they would be? And how much of an addition has that been? Obviously, it's a big one, but can you quantify it?
I think, first off, it's the culture fit, and I think all of those guys have been excellent culture fits. I think when you watch all of them play, they play with emotion. They like to be around this team. There's a play where Seth's running downfield on him. I don't know if it was a screen or one of the toss cracks, and he's downfield and he's barking at the sideline and he's just having fun. And Quinshon, same thing, is that long run and you just see him jump up. And Caleb's out there, he's got great energy. Will, I mean, these guys, they just like being around this team. And to me, that's like the number one thing, because when you bring guys in, especially here who have put them multiple years in the program, it's a little bit of a different deal for your culture, and you got to make sure that you're sustaining a culture during these kind of unprecedented times. I think that's very important. On the field, again, you're seeing what you see. We see what we see in practice, but the challenges are bigger, and we'll kind of evaluate that, as we start getting more of these bigger games under our belt.
And Chip coached against Jonathan Smith. You probably don't have any familiarity coaching against him, right?
Just that first game, I think, when he was at Oregon State, that was the first one, but he had just started there, so.
Oh,
yeah.
How much does it help to have Chip and to be able to bounce things off him, because he obviously does it better?
Yeah. Again, I think he's an excellent coach, and yeah, Chip knows, him as a coach. Doesn't necessarily mean everything they did at Oregon State is what they're doing now. I think they've kind of made some adjustments based on their personnel. But, yeah, I mean, they have some familiarity there.
And final questions, Tim May, Letterman in a row.
Thanks, Jerry. Just 2 quickies. Number one, do you feel good where this running game is that you have going into the Big Ten meeting? Have you seen the consistency, et cetera? And I know everything's relative based on who you're playing, who you're blocking and stuff, but what's the indication that this running game is coming along like you envisioned?
Yeah, I don't feel good about anything. That's just my mindset. Yeah, I mean, I don't. And that has to be everybody's mindset. You start to feel good about something, and complacency can sneak up on you fast. So no, nobody feels good about anything. I think we're building confidence in it, though. I think the guys, guys are starting to, okay, we can get after some people now, and they're starting to have a little bit of fun and say, like, I'm going to line up against you and get after you. And I think, to me, in the way the running backs are running, and that you can feel that's palatable when you're out there. And so we got to keep building on that. Again, bigger challenges are ahead and all that, but that part has been encouraging, I would say.
Yeah, and finishing downfield.
So I'm saying, like, to me, like that's more than anything. We want the execution. You got to do your job. You got to grade out a champion, but it's how hard are you playing down the field and finishing blocks and finishing your runs. And we saw that here, but again, it's just a start.
And is it amazing to you how, because y'all have done this, you look at Michigan State, they didn't just bring in a new coach, they brought in other players. You know what I mean? They've reshaped their roster and stuff. People are used to like a sequential thing, I think, from college football. That's not the way it is anymore and stuff. But has Michigan State done a good job in that regard? Or how would you describe it?
Yeah, I think so. Like you said, it's year to year more than ever. And they've done a nice job. I mean, they're playing hard, and they put some good pieces into it, and they're a good team. To win that game on the road against Maryland really, they caught everybody's attention.
Thanks, Larry.
Yeah. All right, guys.
You've been listening to the Ryan Day Press Conference on The Fan.
Sponsored by The Roofing Guys. For all your roofing, siding, and gutter needs, contact The Roofing Guys at theroofingguys.com.
It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
Welcome back in, Rothman and Ice. On a little Tap Dance Tuesday, Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, and CB. Boys, how we doing?
You know what? I'm doing really well. We finally got some rain, which has been amazing for me because my allergies are just really bad when it doesn't rain, so we can wash some of that pollen out of here, get that out of here. I had a good night last night watching a whole bunch of football. My boy Jey Uso won the Intercontinental Championship. Yeet. Let me get a yeet, AR. Can I get a yeet? Yeet. There we go. So it was a good night for us wrestling fans and football fans, and now I'm back in here with you, man. How you doing?
No idea what that meant, but I
know
wanted
you're on
to
the
jump
right
in.
side.
Right?
You're on the right side of
Absolutely.
history with the yeets.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Shout out to
there
Jey
were a
Uso.
lot of things I used to do when other people did them and said, "Come on, let's go," and I was, sure, why not? But so that came naturally to me. But no, it was good. I didn't watch one down of the Buffalo game. I watched the entire Bengal game last night and then saw the score like a jackpot going up in that Buffalo game. And I'm like, okay, well, that's toast. So I didn't need to bother with that with the overlap. But yes, watched a lot of that. We will talk about it today. We'll do some Fool's Paradise this hour. We'll get into the Bengals blame game in the second hour. We'll have Tyvis Powell on to talk about the orange and fudge.
Yeah, man.
And then we'll do a lot with the Buckeyes in the final hour with Austin Ward, dotting the I's in the podcast. You got a bride
too.
for him?
Yeah, man. Got
Okay.
a little prize for him because Ohio Mulch, they're turning 40, and they're giving away a $40 gift card to Ohio Mulch to celebrate Ohio Mulch. Free delivery, folks, on orders of $299 or more. 20 bags of topsoil for $20, and bulk topsoil is just $19.99 for 1 cubic yard. So stick with us for that. And I believe CB wants us to give this away right around 2:30. Right around 2:30. So stick with us. And we got an Ohio Mulch gift card for you.
All right, well done. We've got a Buckeye game that gets pushed back a half hour to 7:30, so more of an evening kick for all of you, so make your plans accordingly on that. Ohio State is still and I'll check this, a nice favorite. It's interesting. I always gauge what kind of game it is when we come to these press conferences, and I try to, in my mind, think about, will anyone ask about the opponent? We did get a couple. One was more obscure about a player who's got an amazing story about a parent that passed, and he's got to raise 5 siblings and all. That's amazing. And the other one was a little bit about the connection with Chip, and did he ever have to defend this quarterback who transferred in from Oregon State and all that.
And Chip and Jonathan Smith maybe knowing each other since they both used to coach over there in the Pac-12.
But mostly it was on as it should be. And maybe Ryan Day has brainwashed us all into doing this, is that we worry about ourselves. That's what he says it. But now it's Big Ten. So we had to kind of walk that tightrope today of respecting where they are in their schedule. Okay, first roadie, yes, quote, conference game. Ohio State's a 24-point favorite on the road this weekend. Now, he's been doing a remarkable job in my mind of making sure week to week, and you heard his quote at the end, which was the funny quote of the press conference when he asked him how good he feels about his team. He said, I don't feel good about anything.
Right.
Nobody should feel good about anything.
Yeah.
So he has to, and this is coaching. This is about walking the tightrope with having your team feel good about who they are right now, and then realizing that the tests that they've gotten through the first 3 weeks are nothing. It's a glorified scrimmage in a lot of ways. He could beat these teams with his backups if he wanted to. He certainly doesn't need to do that. And I'm not trying to disparage, Marshall from last week, because what they did at the beginning of the game, and applause to Steve Hellwagon, who asked a very viable question today about what happened on that first drive, from his eyes. And then the other part of it, which I thought was great, and I know I'm trying to jam a lot in here, and I don't know why, because we have plenty of time. It's when Hellwagon asked about the defensive line and the sacks, Ryan Day did his best to push back on that. And I'll tell you 2 reasons why. One, it's because of his reality, which is, well, I can't rush the quarterback any more than I can if they're going to run RPOs and runs and get the ball out fast. That's...
Which is real.
And then the other part, and I truly believe this, is that anytime anybody brings up anything individual, statistics, glory, all that stuff, sacks, because sacks are a big deal.
Yeah.
He, Heisman, Archie, stiff-arm that thing. We are not about stats here. And he did it today, and I could feel his cheeks getting a little rosier during that, and I wasn't even watching.
Really?
I could just sense that because
little
he's
irritation
done. No,
there?
not what irritation. No, I think they led him right to where he wants to go, Colonel Jessup.
Yeah.
I think that he couldn't wait to say and bang the table a little bit. Where we are and where we're going to get to only happens if we're unselfish and we're not thinking about personal accolades.
100%.
And I thought that was a big thing that jumped out to me today.
No doubt. No doubt about it. And you mentioned the line because it got an LOL out of me when Tim May asked him about, how you feeling about the run game? You feel good about it? And like he said, I don't feel good about anything. And then he talked about complacency. And you've always dropped a great line on the airways where you say complacency comes to collect.
It was an old phrase, and I don't have the T-shirt anymore.
Yeah.
But it was an old Ohio State T-shirt during the John Cooper era that on the back said complacency comes to collect.
I love it.
And I wish I still had that
I
shirt.
love it because it's so real, and Coach Day knows that, and you just laid it out well with the focus that is coming from the top down. That's what's needed this year, especially when you're a program that believes, and I truly believe that they believe that, and they should believe that they can be the last squad standing. But there's so many things that are still in their way, right, as far as opponents go. And who knows what's going to happen in-house with maybe an injury or two that can come up. And obviously we don't want that, but that's just the reality of the sport that these dudes signed up to play. And so I think that is a head coach that is making sure that when his players hear him speak, and I'm sure they're hearing the same thing behind closed doors, is that, yeah, we're 3-0. We got really good numbers all over the place. We've done a lot of good things. People are patting us on the back around the nation saying we could be the best team in the country and all those things. But the finer details of what we've done throughout these games, some of that isn't as sharp as it needs to be. And I think that's absolutely the right process that you need to take right now while still enjoying some of the small wins. You and I talk about that stuff all the time off the air. In life, you got to enjoy the small wins, man. There's going to be so many things that come your way that can rattle your cage and everything like that in life. You got to be where your feet are and enjoy it, but you also got to be able to stay locked in to the long-term task of what this season can be. And for that team over there inside the Woody every day, what can be is them being a national champion this year, but they got to stick to the grind and build it brick by brick.
Matty, I may never play golf again. The hole-in-one why not go out on top?
I wouldn't blame
right?
you.
I mean, enjoy the wins. Somebody, I can't remember who tweeted it. Maybe it was my friend Mark. He texted me about the ace, and he said, hey, what a wonderful way to go into the weekend, because it happened on Friday.
Yeah.
And I wrote back, what are you talking about? It's what a wonderful way to go into the rest of my life.
Hang it up.
Weekend?
Yeah.
You think I'm just going to close the door on that on a weekend? Of course not.
Absolutely not.
Shout out to Volvic, XT Soft. I would say that Ryan Day in this CEO position is able to identify and talk about things at press conferences a little bit differently. He's got a bird's eye view from the ground level. It's an interesting dynamic that he has with his team that he has the luxury of having because not many guys that get paid what he gets paid can go in and say, hey, I don't want to call plays. I need $2 million. I need a play caller. All right, go get him. So he's in a really good spot where he can identify some things with this team. And listen, the quote that came out about it, I'm not happy with anything. If you don't know the context, if you can kind of hear it, there's some tongue in cheek in there. Obviously, there's coach in there. Like that's his coaching reaction, which is to say, the first time you start saying, "Yep, really feel good about it," is the day you get figuratively pistol whipped. Like that is not the way. It's kind of like you were saying to me, like, wow, yeah, everything's going great for you. Vikes are undefeated, hole-in-one.
Print the shirts, baby.
Exactly.
Print them.
You got all time to throw. Just sit back there. You know what's coming.
Yeah,
and so that's what he's protecting against, and that's okay.
Because to your point, AR, like when he's not behind a microphone or in front of a camera, like he has to be, laying in bed and saying, man, like I got some dudes. Like, that's just the reality of the situation. He knows how good his team is right now, and especially when you look at what they've been able to do with the run game and what that could mean inside of a conference where you're talking about later in the year where it gets cold and the weather could challenge you here. That's something that you could throw on the table, right, and just put that ace on the table and say, you know what, good luck stopping us, because that is it's an imposing thing to have, an intimidating thing, I think, to have when you have the type of run game that Ohio State has, and when you lead the conference and, in yards per touch on the ground at 7 a pop, you're almost ripping off first downs every time you run that thing. It's one of those things where a coach has to thread the needle, like you're saying.
That's it.
You have to thread the needle while also letting your guys know that you are doing good things. But you know what? We're not perfect. Nothing will ever be perfect. But I want to let you know I'm happy with what you're doing, but we still got to get in the lab and cook.
He couldn't have been happy with the fact that before that game, they had not given up an offensive touchdown. On the first drive, they give it up. And it wasn't the touchdown, because he's going to give up touchdowns. It was that all we talked about for 2 weeks was bye week, bye week, bye week. And I said to you on Friday, don't lean into that BS. Now, give Marshall some credit because they had a good game plan out of the game. There's a reason, and this may be a good thing, and I don't know if Jim Knowles would admit this privately. Him not naming a defensive player of the game is great. It's great for the room. It's great for him. Yeah. And those guys in the room said, Coach, we gave up 14 points in a football game.
Blanked him in the second half.
We blanked him in the second half. You know what he looks at? Yeah, but you gave up 7 third downs, and I hate that. Like, he could say that. He could point to things that I don't like. Yes, if we give up under 3 yards a rush, I'm happy. Mm-hmm. But I don't like them being 7 of 17 on third downs. Not that team, not in our building, not with that quarterback. Like, so I think that this really lays out pretty well for the coaching staff, and that they're winning big, they're doing what they should do, but you can't come in every week thinking that, okay, we're there. And it's so amazing because here's the other thing. They're trying to measure themselves against opponents that aren't on the same field with them, talent-wise, top to bottom. And so that's another thing that they know because they're smarter than we are. And so they see that. So if you think we see it and average fans see it, what are they thinking? Like, they're thinking, wait a minute, we're a national title contender. We shouldn't be giving up a drive like that to start a game. Our guys are rested. They're ready. They're game planned. Why did this team go down the field on us? Those are the things they can take to the film and talk to these guys about and be prepared for. Because other teams, they're going to try to copy whatever, any success that any team has against Ohio State, and you have to play them. You got to go in there and say, okay, can we do that? Do we have the personnel to do that?
No doubt. And like I said yesterday, I'm not freaking out too much about that opening drive. Teams have their best scripted plays to start the game. You see that a lot of times in football, and sometimes it'll fade away. So I do want to give them credit for tightening the screws up on Marshall, as they should in the second half. But we do see those first 14 to 15 plays, you usually get your team's best. To your point, though, I think the third down thing is a bigger thing for us to monitor now moving forward, and this defense having the ability to get off the field. So, yeah, the start wasn't great. They came out of a bye. Marshall obviously was going to put their best foot forward to start the game, and they did, and credit to them for doing that. But also, on the flip side of that, I want to say, okay, they got things corrected. They studied up on those tablets, and they came out of the second half and didn't give them hardly anything on the scoreboard.
No doubt about it.
Anything. They gave them nothing on the scoreboard.
No doubt. My point is that I don't think they mind having things like that to take into the room.
I completely agree.
All right, we'll come back. And he also talked about kicker gate, and maybe we do have an explanation. We'll tell you next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
There's nothing Bo Bishop can't do well, except find competent co-hosts. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
Something amazing is happening in business. More companies are turning to Mac. From finance to fulfillment, CDW will seamlessly support Mac integration into your organization. With the power of Apple Silicon, best-in-class security, and compatibility across your favorite apps, your team will have the performance they need and the tools they love. Make amazing happen. Mac and CDW. Learn more at cdw.com/Apple.
We are back, and we are looking at a pretty lopsided matchup, Jim.
That's right, Ron. I mean, in one corner, we've got a 175-pound guy, and in the other, a 6,000-ton heavyweight train.
Jim, this guy has no idea what he's getting himself into.
It's no contest. Every day, people tempt fate and die trespassing on railroad tracks. See tracks? Think train.
Script Ohio necklaces, Blocko earrings, Ohio State bangles, and more. You'll find an exclusive collection of luxury Buckeye jewelry you'll love at the Diamond Cellar, starting at $99. Show your Buckeye love at the Diamond Cellar, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
The Columbus Men's Clinic opened in 2014 for guys who get it done. Let's talk, fellas. You solve problems all day at work. You fix your sink when it's broken. But when it comes to ED and low T, it doesn't get done. We get it. You hate going to the doctor, but you're the guy that fixes things. At the Columbus Men's Clinic, there's nothing to fear and no reason to delay. We've been destroying bedroom boredom for a decade. So if you haven't fixed this, call us. When the pills fail, call us. If you feel like you've tried everything, call us. Here, there's hope. From the conventional to the next level. You'll be seen by our friendly, discreet physician who will take the time to listen. Imagine finally taking care of this with no surgery. Imagine going from feeling gray to living life in vibrant color. It's time to be confident. Join the thousands of guys who have found success after walking through our doors. Will you be one of them? Dial 614-300-7400 or go to ColumbusMen'sClinic.com to schedule a $99 male performance consultation, including blood work. Do it for you. Do it for her. ColumbusMen'sClinic.com. Book your appointment now.
Windows, siding, APCO, absolutely. We don't rely on gimmicks to get customers. We rely on our reputation. APCO is a local, family-owned window and siding company established in 1962.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can trust APCO.
APCO.com.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play, like Bear Dynasty interior paint, their most durable one-coat hide paint ever. From a team color statement wall to a fan cave, complete with a mural honoring Nick Saban's 17-year dynasty.
Hey, I like that idea.
Nothing beats Bear Dynasty interior paint. It's everything you need all in one can.
Defend your game time with Bear and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Valid only when tinted to colors from the Bear Dynasty and Marquee Interior One-Coat Hide Color Collection.
The Fan app is about to become your new best friend. Your one-stop shop for all your favorite fan shows. ESPN Columbus and BetQL. Live or on demand, listen on your schedule. Download the 97.1 The Fan app today. It's free. Do it.
Have you lost Ohio Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost, quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Finally, much needed rainfall on the way. We will be looking at a few downpours. There could even be a couple of stronger thunderstorms early this afternoon. Temperatures going 80 today, 81 tomorrow with a few showers, and then Thursday is looking drier. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
We're sending AR and Matty Ice to the Super Bowl in New Orleans. Their expense account? Nothing but beans, baby. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Indeed. Don't worry, we got a lot of those stashed away, ready to roll.
About to make it rain beans, huh?
That's right.
Okay.
All right, so we have an update in our Little Fool's Paradise. I'll give you that in a second. This was new because when Fielding came over to Ryan Day after he kicked another one out of bounds, I saw them kind of looking up at the wind. So it sounded to me like he was giving some sort of an explanation on how he misjudged something, or there was something swirling up there. And Ryan Day said today that he had tweaked something. and that he didn't communicate that issue to them. That he felt something early on in the game, and that he suffered a tweak, which led to the kickoff issues against Marshall. Ryan Day said today it's nothing long-term, but Day made a point to tell the media today that my kicker needs to communicate that with the coaches. Absolutely. If you've got something that's affecting your ability to perform, then you tell us, and then we make the decision on whether you're the right guy for the job right now.
100%.
And so I don't know whether there's something here that, you know, we're now a few days removed. The kid had a really embarrassing game. Those are unforced errors that teams like Ohio State do not tolerate, especially multiple times. Yeah. You know, the old "you had one job." And so I'm wondering if they're just trying to soften this a little bit. Because you can't just, because I thought he'd get a question today about, you know, what do you do? It says next man up. And it sounds like to me, no, we're going to work through it. He's going to be back out there, and we'll see. But they did talk about a tweak, but nothing long term. But then there was no follow up. Like, well, is he in jeopardy of missing this Saturday?
Missing some time, yeah. Who knows exactly what is really going on there? It could be, you know, a situation to where he felt something pregame and was like, you know what, I'm not trying to give up my spot. I'm going to try to gut this thing out. That's what football players do. These guys go out there injured. Football players will tell you all the time. That's just what you sign up for, you know, is going out there not feeling 100%. And maybe that was a situation. I have no clue. But it's just such a, you know, a valuable thing to have is clean special teams, right? Whether it's the kickoff, punt return, whatever it may be. You have to have that shored up when we get into Big Ten season, which starts this week, because you just don't want to be giving teams clean opportunities to eat away at your defense or eat up more yardage by, you know, inflicting errors on yourself. So something to monitor. I'm not going to go crazy about it, but it definitely was interesting to hear today that, you know, the kicker wasn't 100%. Maybe that led to some of those errors from him.
Yeah. And by the way, when you're not, let us know about it.
Got to.
That was interesting today. All right, Little Fool's Paradise.
Let's scratch that fantasy football itch. It's Rothman and Ice's Fool's Paradise.
I was very close, this close, to drafting Caleb Williams over Jaden Daniels. Because my feeling was, let's grab the weapons that he has. Because I was in a waiting quarterback mode. I think the two of you were waiting quarterback guys. We had some people in our league that certainly reached for Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. Allen's turning out to be a great reach at this point. Yeah. But last night, I was just kicking back on, man, usually this doesn't work out for me. Because I was thinking about drafting Puka, and he was injured. Thinking about drafting Caleb, and I'm just knocking on the wood right now. And just like, that's amazing. So Fan League, I hold down the one spot at 3-0. Maddie won this week. He moves up to 6th at 2-1. We have a changing of a team name and a logo.
Yeah, what happened
in the Fan League?
What happened?
And we've gone from I don't know what to now dumpster fire at 1 and 2/10th. When did you change the name and logo, CB, during the beatdown from my team, or was it after?
Yeah, it might have been during. It's tough, especially in a big league with 14 teams, when you lose such a key piece to your roster, especially a second-round pick. Most likely for the season, it doesn't sound like they're too optimistic that they're getting Pacheco back anytime soon in Kansas City. That it's really hard to overcome. And, the concede button might be coming pretty soon.
Wow. Well, the team that drafted CMC number 1 is 2-1 in our league.
Well, Josh Allen helps a lot there. CJ Stroud has not been very good fantasy-wise.
But that's drafting.
You know why?
He lost the number 1 overall pick, and he's 2-1. So how would you answer that question at the presser, sir?
Well, the way I answer it is picking at the front of the draft, you get a nice little 2-3 turn there, versus when you're picking at the back of the first round, you really have to hit those first 2 guys or it gets late pretty early.
Okay. We pushed him.
The fact that he's ready to throw in the towel is just sad. Because, you know,
I don't think he is. I think this is a very calculated deal.
If Nick Chubb comes back and is Nick Chubb, then we might be back in this. But if he's someone that's just kind of a rotational piece with Jerome Ford and Deontay Foreman and takes a while to get going, like I said, it could get late early.
What you're doing is riding the wave of being a fantasy manager. You're kind of you're tilting right now, but if your squad picks up a dub this week, you're going to be locked
But I'm also pretty sure the person that won this league last year had a similar mindset and then ended up winning it.
Okay. We walked the tightrope of my season is toast to I may be okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Your biggest regret so far in fantasy, do you have one?
Yeah.
I have a mild one.
I mean, but the tight end landscape is always just nasty work. Mark Andrews is doing nothing for me.
Nasty.
He gave me a 0.
Do you know who tight end 1 is after 3 weeks? And I think I told you, Matty Ice, so you know the answer.
I'm not going to cheat like you do and act like I don't know the answer.
Tight end number 1 this week.
No, just on the season so far through 3 weeks.
Who would be tight end number 1?
It's a trick question because he pretty much made up all the ground this past weekend.
Oh, Goddard?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, tight end is just, it's scarce out there. It gets real thin.
Yeah.
Real quick, because I know we got to go to break. Check your waiver wire. Bucky Irving, he's available. I absolutely would pick him up. Andy Dalton, if you need a second, more depth at the quarterback position, I would scoop him up. Panthers scored 4 touchdowns against the Raiders this past week, and they gave up 4 combined to the Chargers and the Ravens over the first 2 weeks. And we've seen what Canales has done with Geno in Seattle and Baker in Tampa. So a couple guys there, and maybe Calvin Austin III for the Steelers. He popped off a little bit.
When Todd Bowles said Irving deserved more touches, that everybody heard that with a megaphone, and all of a sudden when a coach says that, it's big. I know the Cam Akers thing didn't turn out for people. If Mixon returns, then obviously you can go away from Akers.
Yep.
If Pierce returns, we'll see. I think that Carson Steele is somewhat the guy in Kansas City. I do think that P. Ryan is not a bad dude to have.
Just watch Kareem's practice stuff this weekend. What Andy Reid says about Kareem Hunt in practice.
I'm glad that one of my recommended, the Justice Hill. I mean, he's
fine.
He's a very, very good find for fantasy, and we'll go over a few more of those as we move along. All right, we come back. SportsCenter up here at the top of the hour, and the Bengals blame game is underway. One analyst points to the money man. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Whenever someone works on my home, I want it to be a company I can trust, that has a long-standing reputation, that you can stand behind their work, that you can build a relationship with. Well, that company for my roof, well, it was Newman Roofing. They have created a culture centered around creating an excellent customer experience for each project they are trusted with. They are committed to delivering a quality product every time, as they view each customer as a Central Ohio neighbor. At Newman Roofing, their commitment to you doesn't just end when the job is done. They're there to support you for the life of your roof, and you know you can trust them because of the longevity of their company and their family-owned. With their lifetime workmanship warranty, you feel confident that the decision to invest in your roof with Newman is going to be protected by a company that's been in business since 1992, and they're going to be around for generations more to come. So when you're looking for a repair or a full roof replacement, call the family company you can trust. Don't just get a roof, get a Newman roof. 614-NEW-ROOF at newmanroofing.com.
Sonic Temple Art and Music Festival returns for its biggest year yet. For the first time with Metallica. 2 nights, 2 different set lists, no repeat weekend. Plus exclusive Metallica experiences. With Rob Zombie, Alice in Chains, and over 100 more bands to be announced. 4 days, May 8th to the 11th at historic Crew Stadium in Columbus, Ohio. Select passes on sale Wednesday, September 25th at SonicTempleFestival.com.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first-time Nana moments.
And welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't-miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Is your business generating over $1 million a year in revenue? If your financial advisory team isn't keeping pace, maybe it's time for a change. Here's Brad Hennebert with Premier Advisors.
Thanks, Bobby.
Our team integrates financial planning and asset management with business accounting and tax preparation. Business owners have planning needs that are unique. We work with you to design a seamless financial services bundle tailored to your business with monthly or quarterly advisory consultations to help guide you along the way. We don't just keep score of what happened last year. Our team combines expert financial planning and wealth management with top-tier tax services, helping businesses like yours build wealth for you. Call us today at 614-524-4888. That's 614-524-4888.
Brad Hennebert is a registered representative offering securities through United Planners Financial Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through TCP Asset Management LLC. Tax services offered through Premier Tax CPAs. United Planners is not affiliated with TCP Asset Management, Premier Advisors, or Premier Tax CPAs.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. We've got a new start time for the Buckeyes game this weekend at Michigan State. The game will now kick off at 7:30 instead of 7. Our coverage here on The Fan begins at 1:30 with the pregame show. Network coverage beginning at 5:30. It was a rough night for the Bengals. Not only did they lose to the Commanders 38-33, they've started 0-3 now. They also likely lose right tackle Trent Brown for the season with a knee injury. The Guardians and Reds start a 2-game set tonight up at Progressive Field, 6:40 first pitch. Tanner Bybee gets the start for the Guardians opposite Cincy's Jacob Junis. The Crew at home tonight taking on Club America in the Campiones Cup. That is a 7:30 start time. This one's sponsored by Valley Ford of Columbus. From F-150s to F-750s, Valley Ford of Columbus is Ohio's commercial truck headquarters.
Matty was a big Browns fan. Scratch that, we mean he's a big fan of the former Browns. Oh, yeah. The Baltimore Ravens. This is Rothman and Ice.
Yeah, that's right. Got his Ravens gear brewing.
I can finally wear a hat during the week because we got a dub, baby. Barely. Tried to give it away. But we got a dub. We're in the winner's circle, at least for 1 week. Excuse me, let me let you know. It's week 6 of high school football. The Fans Game of the Week heads to London as they host Bell Fountain. Coverage starts at 6:30 and kickoff at 7. This week's game is on ESPN Columbus, 1460 AM and 97.1 HD2. After the game, it's the Byers Dublin Subaru Overtime Show with the man you just heard on the update desk, Ryan Baker, and Lee Cochran on the Fan. So there you go. Week 6, high school football already rocking and rolling. And as always, shout out to my pick, North Panthers. I see you, Coach.
I will not be changing the name of my fantasy team until we lose.
Oh,
I thought about doing it and changing it. And by the way, I think the Vikings should take up I should try to get with somebody there about the Sunny Delights, about Sammy D going to Sunny D. I think those T-shirts would sell up there. I do. At least right now, while he's like, you got to strike while the iron is hot.
My boy Justin, as you know, he's a huge Vikings fan, like you, and he said like he's riding the wave. Yeah, he loves it, but in the back of his mind, he kind of knows who Sam Darnold really is, and he's waiting. And I was like, and I thought, you know what? I don't know if that's gonna happen. I don't know if a dramatic fall from grace is happening for Sam.
He's on the best team he's ever been on. He's got some weapons. I mean, when you think about where he's been and how and the coaching and the lack of it that he had, like, you give him a little bit of hope because there were a lot of people that liked him coming out of college, that he could be this guy. Here's a headline from, by the way, I almost texted both you guys. The Vikings in 2 weeks will be, playing overseas. I'll be playing Aaron Rodgers.
A mimosa special for you? You hate those.
The 9:30 a.m. on a Sunday. Who wants that?
I do.
But I did see that the Vikings unveiled their new little UK hoodie for the game.
Is one on the way?
Is it UNRL, that team that does the athletic stuff now for the NFL?
Oh, I don't know.
There's a special one. I'll tweet it at both you guys because, I'm still kind of waiting on that hoodie. But then I saw what KOC was wearing the other day, and I almost would rather have that one, but I can't find it anywhere.
Oh, man.
So, Maddie, you're really good at this. If I send you a picture of the hoodie that the head coach is wearing, could you find a place for me to get that? Would you be that guy?
I'll do some digging for you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, so back to the headline I want to read you guys. This was on Barstool, and it says, private meetings between Joe Burrow and Zach Taylor, fans throwing blank during games. Like, I guess somebody got arrested for throwing something at Burrow, a kid. And then it said
I thought it was a guy in an actual Burrow jersey.
Well, he looked young to me, whoever they were detaining. The Bengals are back to being a dysfunctional franchise. Well, we'll see. It's one of those deals where they were, and we'll get into the details of why they're 0-3 in a minute. And by the way, everything worked last night except them winning. All those parlays, all those things we cooked up, all the props, Higgins, Chase, touchdown, him, like everything all worked except
the dub,
the integral part. Can you win a damn game at home against Washington?
Oh, man.
All right. So Chris Canty, who does the mornings on ESPN Radio, Unsportsmanlike is the show. And sometimes you look for something, and I'm not calling him out for like faking it, but I understand sometimes when you want to, quote, separate yourself from other analysts. And here's his take on why the Bengals are 0-3.
When your quarterback has a chance to go win the game, he's got to win the game. Fair. And Joe Burrow didn't do that. Jaden Daniels did. That's the problem that I have. The Cincinnati Bengals, they have a very, very specific formula for how they're going to have to win games. They're going to have to be led by their offense. You know how I know that? How they spend money. The Cincinnati Bengals are top 5 in spend on the offensive side of the ball relative to the rest of the league. They're 22nd in cash spend on defense. Newsflash, the defense for the Bengals ain't going to be as good as the offense. The offense is what's going to have to win the day. Only problem is the Commanders' offense with a rookie quarterback in his third start won the damn game. I'm tired of all the excuses for Joe Burrow. Oh, the defense let Joe Burrow. No, Joe Burrow let Joe Burrow down. Joe Burrow let the offense down. Joe Burrow let the team down. Great stats, great stat line. Oh, it's amazing. He's had all of these touchdowns, no interceptions. But what did you do when the game was in the balance? What did you do when the game was on the line? You know the answer is it's not enough. You know how I know it's not enough? It's because your team doesn't have a win and you're going into week 4. The damn Carolina Panthers got a win before the Cincinnati Bengals did. Let that sink in.
Woo! Light him up. Light the money man up. There was a part in there that I certainly can somewhat agree with, but you cannot put last night on him. Now, maybe he was putting just the whole 0-3 on him. And by the way, he didn't fumble in week 1. He didn't play his best. Clearly, week 1 was an ugly game for the offense, scoring 10 points. But they would have scored a lot more if Hudson doesn't fumble going in.
However,
they probably would have won the game.
He did fumble that led to a scoop and score in week 2 against Kansas City. That was that's a spicy take. That is tough love right there that Joe Burrow's receiving from Chris Canty that other quarterbacks around the league have had to hear. And that's when you sign up on the dotted line for those massive contracts,
$55 million a year.
This is what you're going to get. Trevor Lawrence is dealing with it today. They looked absolutely horrendous yesterday in Buffalo. That contract right now is stinky at the moment with what they're doing on offense. But I can't go all in on Joe Burrow today. I can't do it because when your defense gets lit up the way that they did, that's the problem.
It's a nonsensical take today.
And none of us, in my opinion, should be surprised by what we've gotten and what we continue to get from Cincinnati's defense. Because this was a problem last year. And you and I, before they kicked off the ball for game number 1 against New England, sat here and said, we know their offense can be good. We know that. But have they got their defense corrected? Last year, you're 31st in total defense. You're 26th in stopping the running. You're 28th against the pass. We highlighted it the last 2 weeks. The run defense has not been good.
We highlighted it last night or yesterday. We were worried about it.
No question. And I know that they're dealing with injuries on the defensive line, and that's real. But that wasn't the problem yesterday. The problem was the reigning Heisman Trophy winner and Jane Daniels came in there and completed, 90% of his passes through the air. And so you got Cam Taylor-Britt, again, talking trash about the opponent. He gets beat over the top in another deep pass in this game. And yes, he had the amazing interception, but the pass he gave up against Kansas City led to a touchdown by Rashee Rice. So he doesn't learn his lesson. And you had a rookie come into your building and on 3rd and 4th down, go 6 for 7 and threw for 81 yards on critical downs, on money downs. So he was comfortable there. Not enough pass rush from Trey and Sam on the outside. And this defense is just a massive issue. And so I don't know what Lou Anarumo needs to do, but if they don't get this fixed, this season could really start to tilt quickly in a very, very bad way. And Jane Daniels, you highlighted him in Fool's Paradise, and rightfully so. The amazing moment that he had with Terry McLaurin on that 3rd and 7 touchdown on the right side of the screen in the corner, that's elite stuff right there. Because Geno Stone is coming downhill to knock his face off with that blitz, and that dude stood in there, dropped an absolute dime to Terry McLaurin, and credit to both of them. Jaden for what he did, but also the former Buckeye and Terry McLaurin for body control and concentration to stay in bounds and catch that touchdown. So a lot of credit has to go to those guys on that play. That was amazing. But this Bengals defense, it's a problem, AR. It's a massive problem, man.
They can barely get people on the field in goal-to-go situations. Like I gave them not a pass, but I at least talked about how tough their schedule was last year. This was supposed to be the benefit of being so bad last year was the easy schedule this year. The fact you've lost to New England at home and Washington at home, and I know I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I know the NFL, there's a lot of parity, and it's week to week, but you're supposed to be so much better than this. And here's the deal, and this is why I don't want to put it on Joe. That team came out of the locker room and gave up a 62-yard return to Eckler. It changed whatever momentum you felt you had, or kind of like, okay, we're in this game, we're at home, you can win it, and you give that up. Joe isn't telling Amarius Mims to get beat inside by John Baptiste. He's not, it's not on him. It's just
now, since you brought him up, we found out this morning that Trent Brown's out for the season with a knee injury. So now the rookie is going to have so much more pressure on him to hold up.
Yeah, it's they're in a position where this defense is on the block now. They should be getting all the smoke coming their way they deserve. There's nobody making a difference, and they're paying for it because they brought in all the Geno Stone. Well, Vaughn wasn't there. Chris Jenkins Jr., the increased role for Miles Murphy, what we talked about. They should be boosted from last year. And so this is I'm in the camp of, and maybe I'll tell you later in Bet365, because they're not a bad football team. They're just not nearly what we thought they could be.
Well, here's what's staring them in the face after last night. Since 1990, only 2.4% of teams that started 0-3 have made the playoffs. And I've always said, yes, you have the quarterback, yes, you have the playmakers, but you can't keep playing with fire like this with starting slow because of what you just mentioned and the parity around the NFL. I mean, I saw a number going around yesterday. The teams that were 5.5-point dogs this weekend were like 12-2 or something around the league. And so you can't keep doing this and saying, you know what, this is just what we do. We'll see you in the playoffs. Eventually it's going to come back to bite you, and this may be the year.
Yeah, this is it. And all we talked about was Higgins not being available and Jamar Chase not getting his contract. I thought the running game looked a little better last night.
I need more Chase Brown.
He was running pretty hard.
Give him the rock.
Like, this team has scored. The whole narrative changes on them if they stop a fourth down at Kansas City. And by the way, and that's real because mentality of a football team. Now you're 0-3. Like, now do they believe? And they got to go to Carolina. I mean, I'll say it right now. You lose at Carolina, you've lost the team. I know 0-3 is like you put up the stat as close as you can be not being going to the playoffs, but then all of a sudden implosion and finger pointing. You may have that already. We'll come back, and addition by subtraction says one quarterback. It's a subtle shot. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
The Big Nine was a sad, incomplete place. Enter Ohio State. The rest is history. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Direct auto insurance is for uncompromisers, like Matt. When his old car insurance got so expensive, do you think he walked until his sneakers wore out? No, because he found savings with Direct Auto so he could drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25% on state minimum coverage, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a free quote at directauto.com or a store near you. Savings vary, terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 2 trips to a Buckeye postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Heaven on earth. It's here in the mountain towns of West Virginia, draped in vibrant reds, yellows, and oranges. Some of America's most spectacular fall colors. The perfect backdrop to autumn adventure, from scenic train rides to fall festivals, and a cozy cabin waiting at the end of the day. Fall is almost heaven in West Virginia. Plan your getaway at wvtourism.com.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman. The fall deals at Germain Honda of Dublin are beautiful. The 24 Civic LX, only $249 a month for 36 months. The 24 Accord LX, only $279 a month for 36 months. With 10,000 miles a year on the lease, $34.99 cash cap reduction, payments plus tax, tag, and document fee, and away you go. How about 0.9% up to 36 months on the 24 Prologue, the first all-electric SUV from Honda. For the best deal in town, Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road.
Rise and shine, jabronis.
What a show this morning.
There's only one place where Buckeye legends lay the smackdown. Morning Juice with Bobby and Beamer.
Weekday mornings starting at 6.
Give me a juice box,
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Common Man here for Care Heating and Cooling. Weather is unpredictable, but the inside of your home should be comfortable just the way you like it. And the best way to avoid those unnecessary surprises is with a care plan. See, with a care plan, you get priority service, system maintenance in case of an emergency. Just another way to give you and your family peace of mind. And maintaining your systems properly can help save you money. A properly maintained furnace and air conditioner run more efficiently, reducing your utility usage. Regular maintenance also prevents breakdowns and extends the life of your equipment. I'm on the care plan, and I'm quite the expert. I'll stop by and give your system a once-over. I will. Don't tempt me. I end every commercial the same way, telling you to hire Care when you need a company you can trust. It's not just a slogan. That's the Care creed. How about this? Lennox. They have thousands of dealers nationwide. HVAC royalty. Last year, Lennox gave Care their coveted Partner of the Year award because they're trusted by their customers and their partners. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com when you need a company you can trust.
Scott from the Cleveland area has coached girls basketball and supported his granddaughter's athletic pursuits.
My granddaughters have worked hard to excel in sports. It's tough enough. So the idea that Sherrod Brown voted to allow transgender biological men to compete in girls' sports, it's unfair and dangerous. And introducing a bill to allow biological men in girls' locker rooms? Biological men to shower in my granddaughter's locker room? No way. I worry about the safety of my family constantly. Now I have to worry about Sherrod Brown's crazy liberal ideas. I thought Sherrod Brown was on my side, but he's way too liberal for me.
Sherrod Brown has let Ohio down. Now he's way too liberal for Ohio. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Finally, much needed rainfall on the way. We will be looking at a few downpours. There could even be a couple of stronger thunderstorms early this afternoon. Temperatures going 80 today, 81 tomorrow with a few showers, and then Thursday is looking drier. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
It's Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
Here's why it's nonsensical of what Canty said. The Bengals lost a football game last night in which Joe Burrow, I'll have to go into his QBR, may have had a QBR of 135. And let me give you the average per rush. I could even give you average per play. Average per rush was 6.2 a carry, and you had a quarterback with a rating of $135 and you lost a game. Today was not the day to give him the Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson treatment. Now, I'm okay if you want to come back with you want to lay that final card on the table and say, hey, this guy makes over $3 million a game.
I see you, Joe Shiesty.
Everything's going to stop with you. Like, all right, if that's the way you want to play it, but that's not right because the team averaged they were 7.3 yards per play. Like, I'm telling you, this is it's just nonsensical.
It's Lou Anarumo and his guys. Yeah. That's the problem. Outside of the possessions last night where Washington took a knee, the Commanders racked up 5 touchdowns and a field goal on 6 possessions. No resistance at all defensively. None. And so I get what Canty's doing. I saw Shannon Sharp apparently said a similar thing on First Take today. If that's the card they want to play, that is fine.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, I just think that you have one side of the ball that has just been a massive disappointment. And until they get that figured out, that's going to lower the ceiling of this team. It just is. And we talked about it during the break. You looked at me and said, and now they got to go on the road and deal with Andy. And Andy's cooking with hot grease right now after 1 week. And so you're taking your defense on the road, going up against the team that looked like they were completely dead, and now they have life with a quarterback that we know has a ton of experience and really found something in game number 1 there. So you're telling me I should expect a better defensive performance on the road now? Probably not.
This team was 9-8 last year, and they had Joe Burrow fully healthy at his best for about 5 games. Yeah. And so, and on top of that, probably being in the toughest division in football at the time. And also despite having a really below average defense. So if Joe, and I said this before the year, everyone was pointing, well, Joe's healthy. All things are possible. Well, are they? You've seen this defense. Their defense was going to be slightly better by default. Like,
it may be worse.
That's right.
And it may be worse. And that's the problem. And because sometimes I do it myself, so I'm not going to remove myself from the conversation. We get so caught up in just quarterback, everything, right? Like, there's so much more that goes into these equations, and just where's your offensive line at? How good is your defense? And I get it. The quarterbacks move the needle with ratings, and points move the needle. But when it comes to, at the end of the day, what football really is, you got to be able to stop somebody and move people around.
He scored 33 points. That should be enough to win an NFL football game at home.
I agree.
And they didn't. I agree. By the way, CB, I think you're right. The guy that they detained, although he wasn't in cuffs, was an adult wearing a Burrow jersey. If he did indeed throw something to him, then he needs to be thrown himself. Good. I think that, believe in a lot of things.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm superstitious, little stitious.
Aliens?
When Joe Burrow went with the backless, ripped outfit in Paris.
That was a problem for you.
I think it was a problem for me.
Yeah, it was a problem for you.
And I think what happened is he pushed the envelope a little too far. The whole Joe Cool thing, what happened is you got a little too close to the sun on the wings of pastrami. That got a little too...
I'm sure he got a nice paycheck to do that.
The backless...
at Paris Fashion Week. It wasn't... It's a no for me, dog. But I'm in on the blonde hair. So he's going... Look, Joey's not scared of a little fashion, a little drip. He likes to toe the line. I love the suit that he wore at the Super Bowl. I'm in on his fashions. I love that. But the backless suit, it's a miss.
Yeah.
Just a miss.
Sometimes you feel like certain things set certain things in motion. And maybe that did on Cincinnati. All right. Josh Allen. This is a great soundbite. This is what, he ripped the Jags to ribbons. We know the guy he doesn't have anymore. We know the guy, he's got a rookie in Coleman. He's got Shakir. He's got backs he can throw to. But he was on it last night, and it was incredible. 47-10, 4 touchdowns, and here he is on a little bit of the unselfish team attitude.
Josh, 6 different players scored a touchdown tonight. What does that say about this offense, what you guys are trying to do?
No, and I think it's paying dividends of what we've worked on throughout the entire offseason and through training camp of the everybody eats mentality. And again, it could be your play, this play. You never know when it's going to happen, and that's the beauty of it. When guys get to buy into this and really understand, like, I may not get the ball 4 or 5 times thrown to me a game, but the 1 or 2 times I do, I'm going to have opportunities to be in the end zone. And, you know, it's a fun and wonderful thing when you got a bunch of guys that don't care about the stats, they don't care about the touchdowns. And again, I think throughout practice, we've just had this mindset of like, hey, let's just do things the right way and find ways to win football games. That's what we're doing right now.
It's a canned response.
Yeah.
But I think it's almost too coincidental.
Only he would know. But I think based off some of the things we saw between, he and Diggs, that maybe that's a creative way to take a little jab there. I'll say this. We saw this revealing itself a little bit in the back half of last year. This type of Josh Allen, right? They went to the run game. They spread the rock around. And the issue for Josh Allen has just always been the turnovers. The dude does not have an interception right now at all on the season. And he did look really good. And there were 2 teams this year that I think kind of went into the season with a similar formula, Green Bay and Buffalo. We don't have what you would perceive to be a no doubt number 1 wide receiver, but what we have is weapons all over the field that can stress you out. And on 3rd down, you're not just in your mind knowing, hey, we're going to Diggs or we're going to this player. You got to cover a bunch of guys. So the Bills look to be dangerous with the way that they're going about their offense. And when you get down into the red zone, you got to deal with the man that we just heard from with his legs because he's an absolute juggernaut down there too. They look good.
There's no denying that Diggs had beef with his involvement in the offense and that the play calling of Ken Dorsey. He didn't like it, and now all of a sudden he's gone, that dude's gone, and Josh is feeling pretty free to sling it up there. He's the current MVP favorite. We come back with the Browns blame game, and do they dare take their $230 million quarterback and make him just a small piece of what they need to do? We'll ask Tyvis Powell next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
Starting this fall, you can turn your media passion into a high-octane career. Ohio Media School will train you for TV, radio, social media, and digital media. Get real-world experience and hands-on learning with their cutting-edge Activator curriculum through internships and live remotes with industry pros, small class sizes, and real-world media studios. Accelerate your career with their 6 to 8 month programs. Visit Ohio Media School now at beonair.com to book your free studio tour. That's right, free. Go to beonair.com now and seize your media future with Ohio Media School.
They're trained. They're prepared. Let's do it. They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Rita, Jorge, let's bring the nail gun over here.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Most radio stations suck. Here's why. They don't invest in local programming. We're live and local 14 hours a day. You can rest assured that every stupid thing we say is 100% local. Homegrown dumb since day one. The Fan.
Hello, I am a serious announcer hired to deliver a serious announcement. Get an Apex Pros winter tune-up for your furnace right now for only $29. Notice we are simply giving you the facts. Just $29 to make sure your furnace is ready for the upcoming Ohio winter. We know how you enjoy our usual fun and funny commercials. Hello? Beg pardon? Well, I see no reason to bring my mother into this. Good day to you, sir. Where was I? Oh, yes. A $29 tune-up will make sure your furnace runs safely and warmly all winter. That's serious. I'm serious. That's why we're not doing the usual that you've come to expect from Apex Pros. None of this or this nonsense. $29 for a furnace tune-up from Apex Pros. The pros who knows? Knows? Is that really how you say it? The pros who...
Apex Pros, the official plumber of the Columbus Blue Jackets. ApexPros.com.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman. The fall deals at Germain Honda of Dublin are beautiful. The 24 Civic LX, only $249 a month for 36 months. The 24 Accord LX, only $279 a month for 36 months. With 10,000 miles a year on the lease, $34.99 cash cap reduction, payments plus tax, tag, and document fee, and away you go. How about 0.9% up to 36 months on the 24 Prologue, the first all-electric SUV from Honda. For the best deal in town, Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Emily Neal's 70-inch TV. Because after watching her second-grade students yell at each other for hours, there's nothing Emily enjoys more than watching super-rich housewives also yell at each other. Why? Because those women are not her responsibility. And that's why her TV is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Something amazing is happening in workplaces everywhere. Devices are learning how people work and adapting to help them get more done. That's because CDW is modernizing experiences with Dell's intelligent portfolio of devices. Thanks to built-in security and AI capabilities, your teams can work smarter wherever they may be. Dell and CDW. Make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Dell Client.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Breaking Down the Browns with Tyvis Powell.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys. For all your roofing, siding, and gutter needs, contact the Roofing Guys at theroofingguys.com.
All right, he's the baller from Bedford. He's our guy, Tyvis Powell. And he's ready to do the post-mortem on the Browns' loss to the Giants. My man, how we feeling?
I wouldn't call it that, you know. Listen, stuff happens, man. It's week 3, so I'm not hitting the panic button yet. I'm a little concerned, but I'm not hitting the full-fledged panic button yet.
Where does your concern rank the most?
Oh, it's definitely on offense. I mean, that's you'd be crazy not to look. You're crazy if you could look at that offense and think that everything is just fine. No, they're really struggling with the identity, you know, and it's taking longer than people thought it would be, you know. And to me, the part that was frustrating about it the most is that, you know, you go into this off season or you go through OTAs and all of that, and you say, you know, our biggest thing is we want to get the ball out of Deshaun's hand quick. You know, that was our whole thing. We're going to run a lot of quick games, a lot of different route concepts and all of that, and it's not working. Team's sitting on that, and when Deshaun tries to hold the ball, he gets sacked. He's been sacked 16 times this season, and you just don't see any good stuff. Like, when you look at the offense, there's nothing good that you really see.
T, I want to go over to defense and get your thoughts on the game plan against Malik Neighbors. Did you like what Jim Schwartz did as far as maybe not having Denzel shadow him the entire game? What are your thoughts on what you saw there on the back end and how they couldn't slow down the rookie from LSU?
Yeah, I mean, I respect what he was trying to do. I mean, think about it. want a guy. This is a rookie that he's going up against, and you want to give Martin Emerson an opportunity to win some money, because it's a big year coming up for him. He's probably want to renegotiate his contract and stuff like that. So you want to give him an opportunity to showcase that he can be a really shutdown corner in this league. So I'm not mad at the fact that they did what they did. It was unfortunate that he wasn't able to hold his own, and then they made that switch, and obviously Denzel showed why he's a $100 million man. So I kind of respect him for that. I hope he didn't lose confidence or make it seem like they didn't respect him enough, because he's seen that they had to do what they had to do to try to slow him down, and he just wasn't getting it done.
Yeah, listen, I understand that. Do you feel like, though, that was the wrong decision, though, that Denzel's better? Denzel should be – this is the NFL. There's no time to help guys make money. Like, it's one of those things that his job is to try to help his team win a football game, the coach, and I'm just wondering whether you felt like Schwartz made the wrong decision, that Denzel should have been on Neighbors.
Yeah, I mean, coming into that game plan, I think, when you looked at the Giants, you knew that the only thing they had was Malik Neighbors. You knew that they ran their entire offense through Malik Neighbors. So to nip it all in the bud, I would have started off with him just on Malik Neighbors, so making them win another way. I think that, you gave a little bit too much of a leash. And like I said, I get why you did it. Like, I get you want to take care of your guys. You want to see your guys get paid. But at the end of the day, you also want to win football games. They made the adjustment, but, at that point, he was, 14 points in, so it was a little bit too late after that. But moving forward, they better go ahead and listen, you got to get a return on your investment. You paid Denzel $100 million to shut down receivers, put him on everybody's best, especially coming up this week. I ain't even messing around with Devontae Adams. Denzel follows him everywhere. Don't worry, Martin Emerson will get some good reps in, because Jacoby Myers is no slouch.
So going back to offense, Tia, I want to ask you about Deonta Foreman and why you think his carries went from 14 to 2, going from Jacksonville and coming home against the Giants. What are your thoughts on that?
Matty Ice, that, my friend, is the biggest mystery as known to man, because if you look at the Giants' defense, they weren't really good at stopping the run this year. So you would thought that they was coming in this game and they wanted to run the ball. But apparently, from all the reports and all the people that I've talked to, they've had their mind made up that this was going to be the game that they expanded on the pass, because they thought that the offensive line could hold up a little bit longer and some of those deeper developing routes would open up and they could put another wrinkle in their offense. Obviously, that did not materialize. And when they started to run the ball in the fourth quarter with Jerome Ford, he actually had a lot of positive yards. So I think to make a long story short, none of the coaches got their guys ready. They did them a disservice this week. I think they took the Giants a little bit too lightly, and it blew up in their face. All they had to do was run the ball and stop Malik Neighbors, and they did neither one of those two things, and that's what resulted into the loss.
So we had a potential moment on Sunday where Deshaun had a chance to be the guy and his team let him down. However, with the Ford fumble, and then obviously at the end when Amari has to leave the field and he hits Tillman in the numbers and he drops it. However, on fourth down, he's got a guy in a flat that looks absolutely wide open on a 4th and short, and he doesn't see him. So I know you've been kind of You've been confident in Deshaun, but I'm wondering where you are now after this week, where he didn't make any drastic mistakes. However, there's some nuance to his game in that, well, if you don't see a guy when it's right there, what are you seeing? Meaning, are you just so locked in on a guy that's going to be double covered? And I'm just want to gauge your feeling on what you put on Deshaun this past weekend.
I put a lot on Deshaun. I mean, don't get me wrong, the offensive line was a huge component into this game, no doubt. But it was times that Deshaun clearly missed throws. He didn't see certain guys, and that's part of it, and he's got to be better at that. And he's been doing that kind of this season. That's been kind of who he was. I don't think he does a great job of reading the field fast. That's the thing. When your offensive line isn't great, you got to be able to go through your progressions. 1, 2, 3, check down. Like, it got to be 1, 2, check down real quick, because you only got – the way this offensive line is playing, you got like 3 to 4 seconds to process all of those things. And this entire season, he has not saw the field well. And it made me wonder, when you think about him at Deshaun, what did you like about him at Houston? What made him great at Houston? Well, it was because he did a great job of scrambling around, buying time, and then throwing something down the field to some fast receivers. I don't think that fits this personnel that he has with Cleveland. You got guys that run routes. You don't have burners. I joke about it, but it's the truth. Our deepest pass is a fade ball to Amari Cooper for 20 yards. Like that's considered a bomb to us in this new offense that we run it. And that's what you got to be okay with. And that's just not – I don't think that's who he wants to be. I think he wants to throw the ball deep down the field. He wants to scramble around. He wants to throw the ball deep down the field. And the Browns' offense is just not suited to do that. So he's got to see things faster. I get why he could be seeing ghosts. I mean, you get sacked 16 times and then you got hit more times than that. Yeah, you're going to be a little spooked behind that offensive line and you want to take off early to try to protect yourself. But it starts with trust. He's got to get the trust back. He got to trust his offensive line, and he's got to go through his reads 1, 2, 3 and get that ball out of his hands.
All right, 3 roadies coming up for him. We'll see if they can pick off a couple here. Thanks for jumping on, my man. Be well. We'll talk soon.
See y'all later. And don't worry, Browns fans. We always got the Bucks. Go Bucks.
He said not to panic.
Oh, man. That's good stuff.
You already got him jumping ship to Ohio State.
That's hilarious. Did you know that the Columbus Men's Clinic, they're celebrating 10 years of treating thousands and thousands of local men? The Columbus Men's Clinic is the largest and most experienced men's health practice in Columbus. For a decade, the Columbus Men's Clinic have done this all day, every day. It's all they specialize in, and they have gotten a lot better over the years. Higher success rates, better administrative and medical staff, more treatments, and more happy patients and partners. Their ED, low T, and weight loss treatments truly change lives, and their experience makes the difference. Call 614-300-7400. That's 614-300-7400. Or go online to columbusmensclinic.com to book an appointment today. columbusmensclinic.com.
All right, we come back with a Buckeye Bulletin for you, and Ryan Day reminding everybody, don't get lost in stats. Keep your eye on the prize. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
If you haven't thought about Buckeye football today, I'm sorry to tell you that you're dead. Our condolences. Your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan.
Attention Ohio pizza restaurant owners. Tired of glitchy point-of-sale systems slowing you down? Meet Hunger Rush, Ohio's favorite pizza POS. With reliable hardware, an easy-to-use system, and 24/7 customer support, Hunger Rush speeds up your operations and boosts repeat orders by up to 10%. This is the restaurant point-of-sale built for pizza. Easily manage your drivers, easily take orders online, easily train your staff in minutes, and easily make modifications. Need to talk to a real person? That's easy too. Top Ohio pizzerias are winning with Hunger Rush. Solutions to help you streamline service, optimize workflows, and maximize profits. Join the thousands of successful restaurants transforming their operations with Hunger Rush for $0 down and $0 a month. Tools for menu management, marketing, customer engagement, and increased upsells, all in one simple platform. That's Hunger Rush, Ohio's favorite pizza POS. Schedule your free no-obligation demo at ohiopos.com. ohiopos.com. ohiopos.com.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman for the Bath Authority. It's time to make your bath and shower something you really love. Something so great, your singing in the shower comes from a genuine place of happiness. Don't keep staring at that outdated bath, the mold, the mildew, the broken tiles. Every unit from the Bath Authority is custom built. You choose the premium accents and accessories. Right now, get free installation on your new bath or shower, plus 36 months of 0% interest. Visit thebathauthority.com. That's thebathauthority.com. A better bath awaits.
Breaking gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Terms and conditions apply.
If you have an unhealthy obsession with the Blue Jackets, we have just the remedy. Join us Wednesday nights at 7 for the Inside Edge. All the Jackets and hockey conversation you can handle. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every single night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I get it. But there are alternatives to the CPAP machine, and Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and stops your snoring. What a concept. It's quick, comfortable, and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and he has a track record to prove it. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. And as the end of the year approaches, a lot of people have exceeded their medical deductibles, which means less out of pocket for you. Don't delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. Or you can visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Are you ready to unleash the beast? Monster Energy is here to give you the edge this college tailgate season. Loaded with bold flavors, our powerful blend gives you the energy you need to push you beyond your limits. Tune in all season long with Monster, the energy drink of ESPN Radio College Football Tour. Power your performance with a drink that's as hungry for victory as you are. Crack open an ice-cold Monster and dominate your competition. Monster Energy. Unleash the beast. Grab yours today.
Well, here we are again, and I got to tell you, Jim, this match has me really concerned.
Here we have a powerful heavyweight, a train, weighing in at 6,000 tons. And this hasty lightweight challenger, a car, at just 1.5 tons.
This does not bode well for the car or the people in it.
It's no contest. Every day, people are injured or killed trying to beat a train at rail crossings. See tracks, think train.
Saturday is game day on The Fan.
Sponsored by Reichert Ford.
Every game, every season, your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another furnace breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day furnace installation.
All right, Buckeye Bulletin time. For a 49-14, yes, playing Michigan State, who just lost to Boston College. Yes, the same Boston College team that beat Florida State, but we know what Florida State's about. Michigan State had that game. Boston College was on, I think, the Michigan State 41 with about a minute and a half left. And I think they were just so worried about letting up even a tying field goal, they wound up letting up a touchdown.
Boston College always went, and they also went down to Missouri and made them sweat.
Absolutely.
By the way,
Missouri's
done that 2 weeks in a row.
Sweat.
I don't know how good they are. But Boston College,
I'm with you.
They're a pretty good team. Boston Colleges.
But I think that, Michigan State, that defense was probably like at worst, you go to overtime. At worst. And they gave up a touchdown pass and lost the game. So they're reeling a little bit. Ohio State's a 24.5-point favorite. We told you earlier that the game's going to kick off at 7:30, not 7 o'clock. Got pushed back a half hour for you.
More time to drink some White Claws, Squeeze in a couple more White Claws.
Squeeze in a couple more.
Or you can shotgun them, whatever you want to do.
I'm pacing myself, Sergeant. Let's go to Ryan Day, and this was off, and I texted Steve Hellwagon because I thought it was a really good question about the defense, where it is right now in his mind, because we've been sending them flowers all through the first 3 weeks, but they give up the opening drive, and then everyone is kind of into, well, where are the sacks? Where's the defensive line? And Ryan Day did an awesome job of making sure he took the opportunity to remind everybody publicly what this team is about.
What's important for everybody to understand, and that includes, JT and Jack and our guys, is if an offense decides that they're not going to give up any sacks, they can run the ball every play, throw RPO, or get a ball out of their hand quickly. And so it isn't a game of stats. What you got to do is you got to stop the run. And if the quarterback is in a situation where he's looking to run quarterback draw or quarterback power or those type of things, we got to stop the run first. The sacks will come. So, just to go out there and think you're just going to go sack the quarterback if one of the things that the other, side of the ball decides is we're not just going to take a 5-step drop and hang on to the ball. And those opportunities aren't going to be there. You have to defend what the other team is trying to do. And so, that's just the bottom line. And, when you have talented pass rushers like that, you're going to get some different styles of play. And so we all just have to make sure that, we understand the goal is first is to stop the run. And then secondly, it's obviously, about disrupting the passing game. But there's different ways to disrupt the passing game. And to think that, we're just going to, guys are just going to drop back pass in a game like that, it's going to happen. The ball came out quick. Quarterback did not hang on to it. So there's a lot of things that come with that, and we could talk about this for hours, but I want to make sure that the number one goal is the number one goal, and that's to stop the run and get off the field on third down, whatever that takes. And it may not be a sack.
I kind of like the part that you did. We could talk about this for hours. It's exactly what he wants to keep hammering home, Maddie. Forget about that Ohio State's tied 14th nationally with 9 sacks. He doesn't want to hear the good or the bad. They're top 5 in pass yards allowed. They're top 20 in pass defense efficiency. Good, bad, or ugly. He don't want to hear it. They're chasing a certain mentality with this team, and they will get into a position when there are teams that have to throw against them. And then they have to get home at that point and at least rattle the quarterback. But he's been big on it. I love the question and answer today. It was the one thing that jumped out to me today, that Steve led him right to where he was hoping to be able to go, and it was a very good give and take.
I also think it's real what Coach Day was saying, because that has been a thing that's kind of hovered over the defensive line room the last few years, because I believe Ohio State hasn't led the Big Ten in sacks since 2019. When you go from the Bosa era into Chase Young, and you just have these game records that just dominated these games via the sack more times than not, and that fades away as a fan, you're like, well, where is that? Where is that? Why aren't we getting home? But I think Coach Day really laid it out well, what other teams do to maybe neutralize your pass rush. But there's plenty of ways to where these guys can and will impact games moving forward, even if it isn't a sack. I mean, I'm big on pressures. Pressures are almost on the same level as a sack. Obviously, you want to get home and get the forced fumbles and all those things, but if you can heat up a quarterback and have him pull the trigger quicker than he wants to with the secondary that you have, that's going to work out well. But you could also tip footballs at the line of scrimmage, stay disciplined, right? Stay in your lane, and all those things that can force offenses to get out of whack just a little bit. So, yeah, I'm with you. That was a really good answer there from Coach Day today, taking us inside the mind of a coach and really what goes into it, not only what you are or aren't doing, but maybe what the opponent is doing to try to slow you down. And I don't think a lot of teams are going to give Ohio State the opportunity to have their passers just line up and hunt them downhill. You'd be foolish to do that with the talent that they have. So they're just going to have to find different ways, and lucky for them over there, they've got a veteran defensive line coach in Larry Johnson that's seen a ton and knows how to get that thing done.
We don't know until we know. I agree with you. It's, we're all looking past a couple of things to get to the biggest test of the year. To this point would be Oregon. We'll see what the Iowa defense brings to the table against this offense. You and I pointed out before the season even started that it was kind of oddly unique and cool that Ohio State may get their best challenges for each side of the ball back-to-back weeks against Iowa for their offense and against Oregon for their defense, and we'll see what happens. But I'm with you. That's what I mean about rattling the quarterback in some way. Here's Ryan Day on his quarterback, Will Howard, and how he assesses him spinning that ball.
Yeah, no, he's really made some great balls and great throws in practice, and he's really made a lot of progress. He has. So long way to go. Still early in the season, but he can make them all, and he's done it in practice, and so I think the timing is continuing to improve. You can just see the balls coming out of his hands, and the receivers are maybe even not even out of their break quite yet. I mean that's a good sign. Those are all good signs, and and our guys do such a great job downfield of going up and getting it too. So there's a lot of opportunity and a lot of games ahead of us.
Yeah, he's been as advertised. We always put the disclaimer on it, the schedule. But Will Howard, to me, has been as advertised. Mm-hmm. He's not only been a leader in front of the microphone, he's been a leader on the field. I did think it was kind of funny today, I think I said to you during the press conference when we were listening to it, that, he was asked about being able to do all sorts of things, whether you can run it, throw horizontally, throw vertically, and he came up with the perfect coach answer, which was, it's what the defense is giving you. When they want to take something away, we have to be able to go to something else. Yeah. The natural follow-up to that would have been, what do you think you do best right now of those three things? Horizontally, vertically, or running the football. Because from the fan standpoint, and he may have just said, hey, it's all equal, but I like that part of the presser today, too.
Yeah, and, the passing attack, it'll open itself up. The creativity starting to show itself a little bit. You look at some of the things Chip Kelly put out there on tape this past weekend with, misdirection and a little pop pass. that I believe Will hit Emeka on, where he came around the edge and picked up a first down. That was nice to see. And the pop passes down the field, they'll have those, but you may not need a ton of those, especially with the catch and run ability that a guy like Jeremiah Smith has shown and a guy like Emeka has shown. You can have those clean and efficient passes to your playmakers and get the ball out quick and have those guys cook up a lot of yak for you, which we know quarterbacks love. So, yeah, I'm with you, man. He's looked good, and when the tests come, we'll find out more answers about him.
All right, that's your Buckeye Bulletin for today. When we come back, SportsCenter update, top of the hour. We'll get into our normal Tuesday, which is fact-checking our predictions from preseason. And also, Mike Tomlin kind of pushed on a quarterback definitive answer. We'll tell you what he had to say next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. I want to tell you about my friends over at Newman Roofing. When I needed a new roof, there was only one company I was going to call, and that was Newman. Because as a family-owned and operated company, Newman Roofing understands the importance of creating a customer experience centered around values that's built on a foundation of trust and integrity. Newman Roofing has been maintaining its commitment to the company's core values for over 32 years, and it shows, folks. When we dealt with them, they were fantastic. Each team member we dealt with, they were dedicated to respecting both you and your property in hopes of creating a lasting relationship with each family they interact with. If you're someone who values quality workmanship and excellent customer experience, then Newman Roofing, well, there's nowhere else to go. It's the company for you. So whether you need a small roof repair or a complete roof replacement like I did, the team at Newman Roofing approaches every job with the same level of care and excellence. So give them a call at 614-NEW-ROOF. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof. NewmanRoofing.com.
Save big money on your outdoor power tools right now at Menards. Masterforce has the tools you need to get your outdoor projects done. Get an 80-volt chainsaw for maximum power and performance. Add Masterforce chainsaw gloves with a breathable backing to keep you comfortable while putting in a hard day's work. Get all the Masterforce tools you need at Menards. And check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all our great deals.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, football fans, with BetMGM's Second Chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to gamble responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. This U.S. promotional offer not available in Mississippi, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. Subject to eligibility requirements. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Okay, everyone, what did you think of the chocolate bar?
It's too chewy.
Feels kind of chalky.
Too much nougat.
I need to go brush my teeth. Business is booming for Steph's small marketing research firm.
After all these focus groups, there's only one conclusion. I need more researchers.
And she's way too busy researching.
Does this have peanuts?
To waste time researching resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Order like a champ at Raising Cane's. With tailgates of hand-battered chicken fingers and cane sauce and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade, you can guarantee victory for every game day meal. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Dr. Marta Lavelle of Urbana and Darby Dental Smiles on having First Bank of Central Ohio as a partner.
It has been great working with First Bank of Central Ohio. They helped me achieve a huge goal, becoming a business owner. The bank made it so easy. They helped me through the whole process. It's been great ever since.
Experience what it's like to be first at First Bank of Central Ohio. Visit fbcentralohio.com for more details. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Get Nature Stone and never replace your flooring again. Nature Stone is a beautiful permanent flooring solution for garages, basements, and indoor spaces. Act now to get pricing as low as 99 cents a square foot plus installation. Schedule your free cost estimate today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. Number 3, Ohio State, continuing their preparations for the Big Ten opener this Saturday night at Michigan State. We found out today that the start time has been moved back from a 7 p.m. kick to 7:30. Ryan Day today at his weekly press conference said that they will continue to use a rotation at right guard. And even though they've played well so far, everything needs to ramp up now that they're in conference play. Costly Monday night for the Bengals. Not only do they fall to 0-3 after losing to the Commanders, right guard Trent Brown is out for the year after suffering a knee injury. The Guardians and Reds start a 2-game set tonight up in Cleveland at 6:40. Tanner Bybee, he'll make the start for the Guardians. Jacob Junis goes for Cincinnati. And the Crew at home tonight taking on Club America in the Campionis Cup at 7:30. This one's sponsored by Nature Stone. Schedule your free cost estimate right now over at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and I feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Maxima Concrete. Visit MaximaConcrete.com today to schedule your free estimate.
All right, final hour of the program. We'll talk Buckeyes with our friend Austin Ward at 2:33. That is also the time you can win Maddie's prize that we mentioned earlier in the program.
You know what? I do have a prize for you. I got a prize for you. It's a $40 gift card to Ohio Mulch because Ohio Mulch is turning 40. So they want to celebrate with you. Ohio Mulch also free delivery, folks, on orders $299 or more. 20 bags of topsoil for $20 and bulk topsoil is just $19.99 for 1 cubic yard. I mean, doesn't that sound amazing? And I'll lay down the mulch for you. Just hit me up. I got you.
For a nominal charge.
You know what?
I'll come over there and do that for you.
Just have some almonds ready for me. I'll get the job done.
That's right. Almonds and broccoli. You can feed it to him. He'll do a tremendous job. All right. We like to fact check our preseason predictions. But before we do that, I did see a headline on, and good for the Pittsburgh Steeler media, because it's a great story right now. And you've got Justin Fields. They're winning. They're undefeated. I said to you last week, this, in Tomlin's mind, this has to be like a non-question. But in the media and the fans' mind, they want to double down on the definitive nature of this. Do we have our guy? Are you ride or die now? Justin Fields. Like, it feels like that's where they want to push this. And Tomlin, of course, is a crafty veteran. He probably won't allow this. I have not heard this, CB, so I don't think there are any expletives in this, but I can't be sure.
If not, you'll just pay the fine.
That's right.
Yeah,
I can do it. I can do that. All right, so here's Mike Tomlin on being pushed about, hey, is it time to finally say you got a QB1?
Because there's no need. I explained to you the variables of the week. It has not changed. He's going to walk in this building with that mindset tomorrow. And so I really, there's no need to. Sometimes in this business, man, there's a myriad of complex decisions that need to be made. I've learned to make them when it's appropriate and it's not necessary as we sit here right now. When Russ gets to an appropriate point of health and we have a decision to make, I'll make it and I'll announce it and I'll be really transparent about it. But until then, I don't care how many ways you guys ask me, I got no intentions of making the decision that's unnecessary at this juncture.
Let me ask you guys this. Was the question who's starting this week against Indy, or was the question who's the starter for the remainder of the year?
I believe, no. I believe it was somewhere in the middle of that. I believe the question was, why not name Fields the starter going forward? That was it, which is more of, I didn't hear the question. I'm just guessing. Right. It was more of, can you finally say that Justin Fields is your starting quarterback? I don't think anyone was trying to pin him into the corner on if Justin Fields flops over the next few games that he doesn't have the right to change. Of course he does. I just think what they're trying to do is they're trying to gauge Mike Tomlin's confidence in his quarterback who's led them to 3 straight wins. Mm-hmm. You can put this on the defense. Of course it is. He's made some good plays. This doesn't come as a surprise. You can't take him off the field right now. He's been that good. And not only that, you don't have the option to take him off the field because the other guy's not healthy. I think what he's just trying to do is not make anything official because also, and he knows his guys better than we do, maybe feels like this is the best public stance with Justin Fields to keep pushing him, motivating him. This isn't your job. We're not anointing you anything. Now, what he says to him privately is probably completely different. And that, hey, you're doing an awesome job. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep working hard. I don't think Fields is going into Tomlin's office and saying, well, we're 3-0, coach. Aren't I the guy? Can't you walk out there and tell the media that I'm the guy now? You heard Tomlin say, when Russ is healthy. So at this point, he's reserving the right, but there's no way.
Which is like, what?
Well, because the decision, what he's saying is he is right about the
unlimited.
Yes, but he is right about the complex part of this, which is I can't time it up now. Here's the best part. Only if Russ was healthy would this be a story right now. I mean, unless he's hiding what percentage Russ is. Maybe that's a follow-up.
Yeah.
Coach, so you said when Russ is healthy, when do you anticipate that? Where is he? What percentage? You know, if Justin got injured this week and had to come out of the game, could Russ go in? Like, these are the kind of questions that
Hit
maybe
up Ray Powell, though. Text him. You're not satisfied with the questions.
No.
Ray,
I'm actually defending Tomlin because he has the right. Because the second he tells the media that Russ isn't healthy, it's a non-story. It's a non-story. I have to start him.
It should be a non-story because what and this is annoying to me. I hate when franchises and coaches do this. I hate when franchises draft a quarterback in the top 3 and like, you know what, the kid's got to earn it. No, he doesn't. Well, you're going to start him.
JJ had to earn it over Sonny Delight.
I don't want to hear it. More times than not, they're starting the quarterback. Justin Fields is their starting quarterback and should be the rest of the way. Just come out and say it.
What about Will Levis? Should he have been starting?
He didn't play that much last year.
Yeah.
He didn't play that much last year.
But I'm just saying, a guy like that, when you drafted him, you were going to say he's absolutely starting. Like you weren't, like you don't know.
That's not what I'm saying. I guess my point is when coaches, like when we have this evidence here, we know that Mike Tomlin knows that Justin Fields is his starter the rest of the way. Just say it. Justin Fields is going to be motivated regardless because he's trying to get himself to a new contract. He's looking at his starting quarterback mortality right in front of his face. If it doesn't work out this year, he's probably not getting any opportunities to start ever again. So I just get annoyed when coaches do this when we know that they know.
But what if he doesn't play well?
He's their best option, AR. If he doesn't play, if he plays one bad game or 2 bad games, you shouldn't rip it from him. You shouldn't. You owe Russell Wilson nothing. You owe him nothing financially. Justin Fields is their best option at quarterback. Stop playing these games with the media. I hate when coaches do this.
You and I are pretty much on the same page here. I think we always have been. I've always been in the camp of I thought Justin should have been starting the season. But they know more than I know. They know.
What else do they need to know, I guess?
They see what they see.
He continues to get better and better each week. So
I'm with you.
You build on this. You don't mess around now and say, oh, you know what? When Russ says his calf is ready, we're going to go back to a 50-50 competition. That's foolish to me.
Unlimited.
Keep him limited on the sideline. Keep him there. And let this kid continue to grow on the fly.
Ross, I'm with you. Let's agree on it. We are together on this. I'm only bringing up what he's bringing up, which is if I say publicly today that Justin Fields is my starter.
What does that hurt?
For the rest of the season.
What does it hurt? What's the problem with that?
It hurts if somehow. Because you can't give a guy an absolute.
Yeah, you can.
No, you can't because if he doesn't play well, we're trying to get to the playoffs.
And guess what I can do? If I say that he's my starting quarterback now and he doesn't play well, I have a right to change my mind and go to somebody else. And if you guys if you guys have a problem with that, then that's a you issue. Okay. I don't care. Like I'm not going to hold him to his word. And what is that? It doesn't matter.
So
to me
he says today, "Hey guys, I've seen enough with Justin Fields, and not only have I seen enough with him." So far in 3 games, that he can be our future, and he's got 17 games no matter what. I don't care how he looks.
No, see, he would never say that. Like, he would never say, I don't care how he looks. He has to care how he looks. But I think the other side of that, if you do say that he can be our starter, is you brought up the point of, you'll continue to motivate him by having him chase this carrot, if you will. The other side of it is if you do say you're my guy, that infuses even more confidence in the guy. To come in there and say, you know what, this is my you may get a better quarterback out of that because he's not worried about getting ripped off of the field and going back to the side.
Maybe we have just found out my real truth.
What's that?
Is that my non-committal life, I see something to this in Tomlin. He's not committing, and I'm applauding him for
because
it.
if you were right, this is low-key
right.
GM Rothman coming out with, CB, he always, I just want to see more. Like, I just want to see more. And I understand some of that, but I just think in this scenario,
I don't need...
Because the other side of this for me too, AR, is the fact that we've seen where Russ's game has been the last couple of years. If this
wasn't as horrible as I think people described
my point is, if we saw Russ playing at an elite level the last 2 years and he hasn't had his chance yet, then I'd be all in with, okay, we got to leave the door open just a little bit. We kind of know what Russ is at this point.
All I'm saying is that it's a good problem to have. He's got right now a winning team to protect. If this was just all about seasoning Fields, then okay, fine. Let him sink or swim out there. But I think what Tomlin's protecting against in this press conference is that I have a 3-0 football team to think about. So I'm not going to come out here and tell you guys definitively that Justin Fields is our starting quarterback. He's my number one guy, and that's it. I think he still wants to reserve the right to assess this as they go and to see how the offense is going. It's not like they're, beating everybody offensively. So you and I are exactly on the same page with Fields. Should be his team right now. I think what Tomlin's doing is he's just protecting that last little bit of, I'm the coach on a week-to-week basis, and I have to decide what's best for our team on a week-to-week basis. I can't decide about Russ right now because Russ isn't healthy. But remember, he named Russ the starting quarterback in the preseason.
Said he had pole position.
Right. So I think that's where we are. If they were neck and neck and he didn't know, and then Russ gets injured in preseason, then this would be really a non-story because we wouldn't have known where his mind was. But we knew where his mind was before the season. And now this is a cool story that the younger kid is playing well. The defense is keeping him in every game, and he's not making drastic mistakes. And in fact, he's making some really good throws, and they're managing this pretty well. I think it's fun. I'm glad the media is pushing him, and he's pushing back, and it makes for a good story.
They've got coming up, the Steelers do 3 of their next 4 game, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 of their next 5 games are going to be 8 o'clock kicks in the primetime slot. So you'll have the NBC game coming up after this week against Indy, at home against Dallas. A couple weeks after that, you host the Jets on NBC, and then you get Monday Night Football at 8 o'clock. So, that'll be they're going to be in the spotlight a lot with this in the coming weeks. But, Mike Tomlin, just stop playing games, my guy. Just you know what time it is. Roll with the kid. Roll with him. He's your best option. And if you have to change your mind, then you can change your mind.
Let me ask you this.
It's no problem.
What would you, if you could draw up the script, the note card to take out to that podium and say this, what would it be?
I would say, Mike Tomlin, hereby
state your name.
Hereby declare that Justin Fields will be our starting quarterback right now for the foreseeable future. And I'm going to do what's best for the team. And what I think is best for the team after 3 weeks is rolling with Justin bleeping Fields. And go Steelers, go.
And then you point to the room with the window of me at the trigger, and then I go,
it's just that simple.
Exactly. And then in the background, Wiz Khalifa Black and Yellow starts to play.
Absolutely.
And I start waving a terrible towel.
No doubt. As a Ravens fan. They even get Orange and Fudge in there to be waving the terrible towel.
Goodness.
What would we have to pay CB to do that just for social media? Get an actual Myron Cope, get him a terrible towel.
Probably just give my fantasy team full health again. That's probably all it is.
CB, before we go to break, can I just get one more Mr. Unlimited? Just one more, if you got it. I just need to hear it. Where's he at?
I've had enough of it almost.
Mr. Unlimited.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, man.
All right. When we come back, Maddie, I'll give you a bet 365.
Okay.
And you'll have to decide whether you want to co-sign this leap out of the plane with maybe a ripped parachute. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We test marketed naming the show A Guy and His Butlers.
Oh, that is very touching.
But we thought Bishop and Friends had a better ring to it.
Weekday mornings at 9.
The Fan.
Men, if erectile dysfunction is affecting you, getting treated could have a dramatic impact on your relationship and your outlook on life. But it's also important where you get treated because your health matters. And working with an organization that practices excellent medicine and has significant expertise in men's sexual health can often result in a far better outcome. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're seeking a quality provider to treat your ED or are just not satisfied with your current situation, call us. We'll show you a true 5-star experience and work with you to find the right treatment for your specific medical situation. At Tri-State Men's Health, we truly are experts in men's sexual health, but it's more than that. Unlike the online pill pushers or so-called men's clinics that only offer one or a few treatment options, we offer the full spectrum of ED protocols. We can even use combinative therapies for better results. At Tri-State Men's Health, your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Shop new dollar deals at Meijer. $1 is all you need when you shop hundreds of participating items, like select bell peppers, Swanson broth, or Campbell's soup, and 1.25 liters of Coca-Cola or Pepsi products, all just $1 each. That's it. Pay just $1 on select items with Meijer dollar deals for a limited time. Limit 10 per item. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in-store or in the Meijer app.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman for the Bath Authority. It's time to make your bath and shower something you really love. Something so great, your singing in the shower comes from a genuine place of happiness. Don't keep staring at that outdated bath, the mold, the mildew, the broken tiles. Every unit from the Bath Authority is custom built. You choose the premium accents and accessories. Right now, get free installation on your new bath or shower, plus 36 months of 0% interest. Visit thebathauthority.com. That's thebathauthority.com. A better bath awaits.
Here at The Fan, we give you 14 hours of live and local programming every day. We care about you. We live and work in your community. Except Bo Bishop. He won't tell us where the hell he is. Your live and local station. Except Bo. The Fan.
Ready for the best car buying experience of your life? Visit KriegerFord.com today. Explore our amazing selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. Service and parts available when you need us. Come experience the Krieger commitment. The best cars, the best people, peace of mind. Visit KriegerFord.com now.
We are Ortho Alliance. Together, we deliver the most experienced orthopedic care near you and throughout Central Ohio. Together, we provide expert care when you need it with same-day and next-day appointments. We put our patients' care first, from physical therapy to the most challenging joint replacement surgeries. We are JIS Orthopedics, Ortho Neuro, Orthopedic Associates of Zanesville, Orthopedic Foot and Ankle Center, and Orthopedic Specialists in Sports Medicine. And we are better together. Visit orthoalliance.com or call 877-WE-ARE-OA.
Windows, siding, APCO, absolutely. We don't rely on gimmicks to get customers. We rely on our reputation. APCO is a local, family-owned window and siding company established in 1962.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can trust APCO.
APCO.com.
Scott from the Cleveland area has coached girls basketball and supported his granddaughter's athletic pursuits.
My granddaughters have worked hard to excel in sports. It's tough enough. So the idea that Sherrod Brown voted to allow transgender biological men to compete in girls' sports, it's unfair and dangerous. And introducing a bill to allow biological men in girls' locker rooms? Biological men to shower in my granddaughter's locker room? No way. I worry about the safety of my family constantly. Now I have to worry about Sherrod Brown's crazy liberal ideas. I thought Sherrod Brown was on my side, but he's way too liberal for me.
Sherrod Brown has let Ohio down. Now he's way too liberal for Ohio. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Finally, much needed rainfall on the way. We will be looking at a few downpours. There could even be a couple of stronger thunderstorms early this afternoon. Temperatures going 80 today, 81 tomorrow with a few showers, and then Thursday is looking drier. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by the Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, Bet365 time.
Yes, sir, my man, because at Bet365, we don't do ordinary. See for yourself when you sign up today and get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5.
Yeah, and they've got a very cool thing for their baseball bets right now that you can opt in on. So if you wager on any of today's 15 baseball games, you get up to $25 in bonus bets. Okay. So, and today's game, we got a Mets-Braves game, both sides fighting for wild card places.
What else we got going on? We got the Ohio Cup, baby. Yep. Reds and Guardians. CB, he's flexing on us over there. He should flex on us. His team has 90 wins. Mine has 76.
So is Bybee finally going to put them down tonight, CB? I got him in fantasy. Championship week. Can you guarantee me something tonight?
No, considering he had a good first half of his start down in Cincinnati back in the summer, but then they kind of got after him. So I wouldn't feel very confident.
Is that before or after I said it's print the shirt season? Was that?
Oh, that was way after.
Okay. Yeah, it was. All right, so here's my deal for you guys.
Oh, man.
Joe Burrow, by the way, Steeler fans are really running with this.
Running with
that.
What?
Well, he was talking about the Bengals' chances of making the playoffs, and he was listing off the teams, Steelers are 3-0. He goes, we're by no means out of it, but that's not where my mind is. But the fact that he said the words, Steelers are 3-0, and now they're playing that on a continuous loop.
I'm not following. What's the problem with
They like that phrase coming out of Joe Burrow's mouth.
Okay, I thought they found an issue with him saying that.
No, they love it. They want to hear more of it. It's on a loop.
Okay.
I'm going to take the leap because of the value.
You can't quit them.
I can't. The Cincinnati Bengals are plus 215 to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
They're over 2-1.
You going to play the schedule game again? That bit us already.
It really did.
Bit us
You're
already.
right. I probably have Here's the reason I would be willing to entertain this. Because I still think they're as good, not better than, as good as a ton of the 1 and 2 teams that are above them. I know that 0-3 is like just flashing. That beacon is just flashing. 0-0. And your stat you brought up.
Since 1990, only 2.4% of teams that have started 0-3 have made it to the postseason.
I feel they're as good as the Cleveland Browns. As good. I feel they're as good as the Colts. I feel they're as good as the Denver. I feel they're as good as the team that beat them in New England.
I'm not playing this game.
I feel they're as good as the Raiders.
You know why I'm not playing this game?
All those teams are 1 and 2.
I'm not playing this game because they lost to the Pats and the Commanders. And while I would agree with you on that.
Well, the Commanders are a playoff team right now.
But while I agree with you on that, it's never that easy in the NFL. It's just not.
Never that ordinary.
And now you're talking about your starting right tackles done for the year, and a rookie up front is going to have to protect Joe Shiesty. It just, I would stay away from that bet. But like you said, you can't quit him.
I can't.
You're all in.
Not yet. Plus 215. I'll take the leap and hope we're in the conversation late.
Yeah.
But I'm just telling you, if 7 teams are making the playoffs, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams above them in the standings, I think they're just as good at, and or just as good as, then I feel like they have a fighting chance. And I will play the schedule game a little bit because I have to, and that they go to Carolina. Now, if they beat Carolina and come home and lose to Baltimore, they're still 1 and 4 any way you slice it. And guess what comes next? They've got to go to that Giants team that looks for real, or at least within, being competitive. They'll have to go to Cleveland. They'll play the Eagles at home.
Yeah,
this could get they could be 2 and.
I'm not looking past Carolina with them. I just can't do it.
Andy?
I can't. I respect you. I respect your boldness in doing this.
I'm just doing it on value alone.
I hear you.
All they have to do is win Sunday. And I know it's a big ask, but all they have to do is win Sunday. And I don't know what those odds go to, but they're not 2.5 to 1.
You're right. No, you're right about that.
That's all.
I'm going to baseball tonight because we got an AL East juggernaut battle going on in the Boogie Down Bronx with the Orioles in town taking on Aaron Judge and the Yankees. Give me Anthony Santander. He may not be a familiar name for a lot of people if you don't follow baseball, but that dude's 3rd in Major League Baseball in home runs this year with 43 trips around the pillows. I like his juice tonight, plus 425. He's a switch hitter. He can get in that left-handed box, poke one over that right field wall. So give me Anthony Santander, $425 for a dinger tonight. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. Download the Bet365 app today. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
They get a little help on the injury front, the Bengals do, by the fact that the Panthers have to put Adam Thielen on IR. So that's definitely a target for Andy Dalton. And that'll be something that, listen, that happens to every team. You fight their injuries, but that's a decent one for them. You mentioned that Brown is out for the year for the Bengals, the offensive tackle that went down. That's a ruptured knee tendon. It didn't look good. Anytime you throw out the word ruptured, that's not good. You cringe when you hear it, so we wish him well.
And it's kind of, I don't want to say that. It's not what they signed up for. But when you signed Trent Brown, he had this in his past, injury stuff, right? A veteran guy that has just dealt with the injuries. And so you have some insurance there with a rookie who you drafted in the first round, who they obviously believe in. But now that he's going to have to learn on the fly, that could be challenging. And so we know that's been an issue for them the last couple of years, is the protection of Joey B. Hopefully the kid can hold up, right? So now, it's going to be on Zach Taylor and the offensive minds to, maybe put an extra tight end over there, help him out, chip, with the running back and all of those things. So, yeah, that's a tough blow for sure, because Trent Brown, he looked okay, honestly, in the first few games of the season.
Offensive line is key. It's not sexy, but every team deals with it. Yeah. Even the Texans that, lost to the Vikes, CJ has been sacked 11 times through 3 weeks. C.J. Stroud is on pace to be sacked more than 55 times.
It's because the Vikings are the real deal. Just say it, baby.
No, I'm not.
Say it with
I'm
your
saying
chest.
for the whole season.
Say it with your chest. The Vikings, here's what's sneaky about this, is that you had two guys coming back home in a revenge game situation, Stephon Diggs and Danielle Hunter. Danielle Hunter, the Vikings may have known something that we didn't know. We got dudes in house that are ready to go to replace Danielle Hunter. The Vikings leading the leagues in sacks right now. That's very, very impressive. You guys are getting after people, man.
It's a nice win. Should celebrate it. That's a big deal. I did not think the Vikings had this in them. And all of a sudden,
MVP.
We'll see.
MVP.
They still got two very, very good teams in their division with Green Bay and Detroit. Green Bay's done an incredible job keeping their boat afloat without Jordan Love. And so,
shout out to Malik Willis.
Malik Willis. Give him, absolutely. This is the beauty of the NFL. All the stuff you never think about before the season. And it turns into a great little story. All right. Those are your pre-snap reads for today. Hey, explain something to me.
Yeah, what do you got?
This whole Penguin series.
Oh, my gosh. The first episode
is there
good.
one episode right now?
One episode. So they dropped the first one last Thursday. Now we're going to Sunday night. So the second episode.
So I can easily jump in and catch
100%.
And what's it on?
Have you seen, it's on HBO. Have you seen The Batman?
I doubt it.
Okay.
Which one is that?
That's the most recent movie that came out in 2022, I believe. I would you should watch that. Watch The Batman first.
Prep for this?
Well, just because where the Penguin picks up at, it's a week after the last things you see in the movie. But either way, I think you could hop on the train and be all right. First episode was so good.
All right, I'm going to jump in.
Colin Farrell, killing it as the Penguin.
I'll jump in. Austin Ward is up next. We'll talk Buckeyes as they go on the road and what his feeling is about this team. Maybe, Maddie, I'll take his percentage temperature on the Natty. We'll do it next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Death, taxes, and beating Michigan every damn year. This is your flagship home for Ohio State football. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Barely 5 hours a week. It's how much time most of us spend outdoors. Not nearly enough time getting lost in canopies of breathtaking fall colors. Brilliant hues extending all across America's third most forested state. We could all use a little more time outdoors, soothing mind, body, and spirit in West Virginia. Plan your fall getaway at wvtourism.com.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Is your business generating over $1 million a year in revenue? If your financial advisory team isn't keeping pace, maybe it's time for a change. Here's Brad Hennebert with Premier Advisors.
Thanks, Bobby. Our team integrates financial planning and asset management with business accounting and tax preparation. Business owners have planning needs that are unique. We work with you to design a seamless financial services bundle tailored to your business with monthly or quarterly advisory consultations to help guide you along the way. We don't just keep score of what happened last year. Our team combines expert financial planning and wealth management with top-tier tax services, helping businesses like yours build wealth for you. Call us today at 614-524-4888. That's 614-524-4888.
Brad Hennebert is a registered representative offering securities through United Planners Financial Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through TCP Asset Management LLC. Tax services offered through Premier Tax CPAs. United Planners is not affiliated with TCP Asset Management, Premier Advisors, or Premier Tax CPAs.
Navigating mental health insurance benefits can be overwhelming, but you don't have to do it alone. The Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office is here to guide you. Our expert team will help you connect with your health insurance plan to understand available behavioral health benefits. Say goodbye to frustration and hello to control over your mental well-being. Call 855-438-6442 today.
Buckeye Show.
What were you guys yelling on the Braxpin play 2015?
Well, everybody said, he's back. He's back. That's what everybody was saying.
The Buckeye Show.
Presented by Coors Light and sponsored by CareSource.
Weeknights at 6 on The Fan.
Common Man here for Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. Fall is here. It's still warm and dry and everything's brown. But yay, fall. Maybe after your summer road trips, you've realized your vehicle sucks. My friends at Jermaine Lexus want to help. Right now, they have special APRs as low as 2.99% on their most popular models like the ES and RX, or lease payments starting as low as $4.99 a month. My friends at Jermaine are the best in the business. If you're in the market, please stop in. 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, JermaineLexus.com.
They come here illegally, crossing our southern border. Then Sherrod Brown rolls out the welcome mat for them here in Ohio. Brown voted to give amnesty to 11 million illegal immigrants, including those convicted of crimes like drunk driving, aggravated assault, and child abuse. And Sherrod Brown voted 10 times to protect sanctuary cities in Ohio, which release dangerous illegals back onto the street, making Ohio's neighborhoods less safe. And while we struggle to make ends meet, Sherrod Brown is voting to give illegals taxpayer-funded benefits, like health care for illegals granted amnesty, Social Security, COVID relief checks, even a program to fly Haitian migrants into Ohio airports, all paid for by you, the taxpayer. You think you know Sherrod Brown? Well, after 31 years in Washington, Sherrod Brown's way too liberal for Ohio. American Crossroads paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. AmericanCrossroads.org.
Common Man here for Care Heating and Cooling. Weather is unpredictable, but the inside of your home should be comfortable just the way you like it. And the best way to avoid those unnecessary surprises is with a care plan. See, with a care plan, you get priority service, system maintenance in case of an emergency. Just another way to give you and your family peace of mind. And maintaining your systems properly can help save you money. A properly maintained furnace and air conditioner run more efficiently, reducing your utility usage. Regular maintenance also prevents breakdowns and extends the life of your equipment. I'm on the care plan, and I'm quite the expert. I'll stop by and give your system a once-over. I will. Don't tempt me. I end every commercial the same way, telling you to hire Care when you need a company you can trust. It's not just a slogan. That's the Care creed. How about this? Lennox. They have thousands of dealers nationwide. HVAC royalty. Last year, Lennox gave Care their coveted Partner of the Year award because they're trusted by their customers and their partners. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com when you need a company you can trust.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Let's do a little day tripping.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Plumbing. Call us today at 1-800-FURNACE for all your plumbing and drain service needs. Yes, 1-800-FURNACE works for plumbing, too.
All right, he's our friend Austin Ward, Dotting the I's in the podcast, covering the Buckeyes with perfection, and he's with us now on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. My man, how we feeling?
Anthony, did you not learn anything from listening to Ryan Day and Jim Knowles? There's no such thing as perfection. You can't be happy about anything, and you got to be better every day than the day before.
That's right. How much of his I'm not happy about anything, nobody should be happy about anything, How much of that was there a little bit of a half smile on his face? You know him pretty well. You could read how much tongue in cheek was there or not?
I think he knows that, and he would give away some hints. I think a couple hours ago, it's like, yes, there's confidence about this, that, and the other thing. But I do believe that there is a chance to reset a little bit, not just because it's the start of Big Ten play, although that's a big part of it. They're going on the road to play Michigan State. They can get their attention with that. But you look at, some of the areas that are not of concern, but where they didn't maximize their full potential on Saturday. And I think that, those two things can go hand in hand. Hey, nothing has been accomplished yet. This is the start of a new journey. You haven't done anything. I think that was more what this was, as opposed to like, this is not a program that's in disarray or is no longer a national title contender. But when you're chasing those as your goals, I think you can coach them a little bit harder coming off of a performance like Saturday, which is still a 35-point win. They're 3-0. They have momentum and not a ton of things that they have to correct. But I do think that was an opportunity for Ryan Day to make sure that he had everyone's attention and prove how seriously they need to take this week.
Also, the old saying, if you have two quarterbacks, you don't have one. Could the same thing be said if I said if you have two right guards, you don't have one?
I don't think it quite applies the same way. And I think it's a luxury in some ways, Maddie, that this team has not had for quite some time. And maybe there was depth where they could have done this and an unwillingness to do so because of the chemistry and cohesion and the things that we hear about a lot on the offensive line that you need to, work, and you need to have familiarity with the guy next to you. Ryan Day and, Justin Fry had talked about this some during training camp. They've really had an opportunity here with rising depth and when they had to really dip into it with the illness that went around during training camp to find some things out that maybe it doesn't have to just be five guys at all times playing on the offensive line. Because Austin Cerebell proved in those first 2 weeks that if he's not at Donovan Jackson's level fully as a ready-made NFL draft prospect, he was at least able to go out there and hold up his end of the bargain for 2 weeks. And, he went out there and on the first play that he was on the field against Marshall, Ohio State springs an 86-yard touchdown run. Now, is he the sole reason for that? Of course not. But he has continued to make plays with every opportunity that he's been given. And then there are benefits for Ohio State where they, we can forget once you become a starter, it's like you get treated like a veteran. That's not the case. I mean, Tiger Shabola has only started 3 games at Ohio State. Austin Cerebell is only 2 games into that career, and he's coming off the bench against Marshall. But so the point is that it's not just a benefit to keep both of those guys fresh or potentially Donovan Jackson fresh down the road, but it's also a chance for them to, with these tablets and with the ability to make in-game adjustments, to go see things from a different perspective and continue to learn and develop and grow. Do you want to mess with that maybe on the road at Oregon or at Penn State? I guess we're going to have to wait and find out. But in the meantime, I think there's still benefits to playing a lot more guys than just 5.
What was his? I know he was asked about that opening drive, and I'm not. Listen, I'm not trying to nitpick here. I'm trying to hold them to a different standard or the same standard they hold themselves to, just because it is a talking point. Because all during the bye week, we just kept saying, "All right, start fast, this and that." I know the ball was coming out fast. What would you make of what Marshall was doing that was causing them trouble early, and then obviously, a bad formation by Marshall, and they've got the ball on a muffed punt at the 8-yard line trying to tie that game. Yeah. It didn't happen, but what were they saying that first drive was about?
Yeah, I think, AR, we always talk about starting fast, and that usually is a conversation that focuses on the offense. But Jim Knowles made the point today that he did not feel like the silver bullets came out right off the bat in the way that he really wanted to see. And, part of that you can attribute to Marshall doing some things schematically that I think gave Ohio State, at least caught them by a little bit surprise, and you have to adjust to that. That's part of football. The heat, Tyleik Williams not being out there, they don't ever make excuses. The same thing that you said. Their standard is their standard. And if that's what we're holding it up against, then they didn't quite account for what Marshall wanted to do as quickly as maybe Jim Knowles wanted to. He took that on his shoulders, and I think that's one thing I always enjoy about Jim Knowles when he evaluates things that maybe don't go perfectly according to his plan, is taking that responsibility and accountability for himself. And I think this is what teams are going to continue to do, is they do not want to be in a situation where JT Tuimoloau or Jack Sawyer or Caden Curry or Kenyatta Jackson get to just pin their ears back and go after the quarterback. You're seeing 0-step drops, 1-step drops, ball out, getting quick, quarterback run game, because you can't get in a situation where Ohio State is allowed to collapse the pocket and get after guys. And I think with Aiden Childs and Michigan State, we're probably going to see some of that same stuff early in the game on Saturday. So it's up to Jim Knowles and up to that defensive line. If Tyleik Williams is back out there, that's going to change things. I don't think anybody's going to want to go run right at the middle of Ohio State's defensive line when they have Ty Hamilton and Tyleik Williams at full strength in the middle. But, if not, what's the counter? What's the move back? How are you going to correct that moving forward? Because it felt like there were times where the defensive line or the linebackers were getting out of position and out of gaps, and Marshall was able to find some ways to do that. Now, as you're talking about ramping it up, you're talking about Michigan State and then Iowa and then Oregon and this build-up in Big Ten play. You're not going to be afforded the same luxury of maybe correcting it and counting on the fact that the offense is just going to blow every team out. This is now that real time of year, and you have to get these things addressed.
All right, my man. Always good to have you on the program. Enjoy the rest of the week. We'll talk soon. Thanks, Austin.
Appreciate it. See you guys.
Austin Ward, Dotting the I's and the podcast on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline.
All right, AR, it's time to hand out a goodie. It's time to hand out a goodie right now, and it is a $40 gift card to Ohio Mulch, because Ohio Mulch, they're turning 40, and they're giving away what I just said, a $40 gift card to celebrate. 614-821-9710 is CB's hotline number over there. I believe you have the question for the lovely listeners.
Earlier in the show, when we were talking about fantasy football, and CB was taking a nice little weekly beat down from my Zim Reaper, soon to be renamed the Sunny Delights. He changed his team's name mid-weekend when he knew it was L City. What did he change his team's name to? Tell it right to his ears at 821-9710, and he will give you the mulch. We come back with Tell the Truth next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
An ex-jock and a very puffy, smooth-faced man. These are the first voices you should hear. Morning Juice. Your wake-up service.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every single night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I get it. But there are alternatives to the CPAP machine, and Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and stops your snoring. What a concept. It's quick, comfortable, and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and he has a track record to prove it. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. And as the end of the year approaches, a lot of people have exceeded their medical deductibles, which means less out of pocket for you. Don't delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. Or you can visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or sleepbettercolumbus.com.
With so much happening every day,
ABC 6 News is on your side, helping you understand the events that impact your community.
Do you believe Columbus City Schools is in a PR crisis?
Central Ohio's most experienced team of reporters, persistent in getting answers to the questions you're asking.
Are you worried about how people are going to react?
And when you need us, ABC 6 News is on your side, finding solutions.
6 on your side, they're the ones willing to answer the phone.
You can count on ABC 6 News to be on your side.
ABC Tonight.
You know how when you're living your life and then all of a sudden you're out there helping cops solve crimes? That's me.
Critics are calling high potential a fun, slick crime procedural.
I have an IQ of 160. I spot things that detectives miss.
Caitlin Olsen is fantastic with razor-sharp wit and sass.
I think it was murder and a cover-up, but I want to know how you know.
Sounds like a challenge.
It's brilliant television with a blend of humor and mystery.
Got a dead body. Gotta go.
High potential.
Tonight at 10 on ABC 6.
Windows, siding, APCO, absolutely. We don't rely on gimmicks to get customers. We rely on our reputation. APCO is a local, family-owned window and siding company established in 1962.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can trust APCO.
APCO.com.
Order like a champ at Raising Cane's. With tailgates of hand-battered chicken fingers and cane sauce and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade, you can guarantee victory for every game day meal. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Football season is here, and we have so much stuff. One station isn't enough. Find even more Pigskin on ESPN Columbus.
Set your second preset to AM 1460 or 97.1 FM HD2 or listen on the Fan app.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Ohio Basement Authority. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at ohiobasementauthority.com.
Hi, I'm Joanna Williams, General Manager at Tansky Sawmill Toyota. Is it time for a new or used car? Visit Tansky Sawmill Toyota on the corner of Sawmill and 161, home of the Tansky Promise, where our salespeople aren't paid on commission. We have a 72-hour exchange policy, and every transaction is upfront and transparent. You can even start the process at home. Visit TanskySawmillToyota.com to start your purchase today and to see all of this month's specials. And when you think Toyota, think Tansky.
At Metal Supermarkets, we're all about getting you and your crew to quit in time sooner. That's why our service is a cut above. You see, no matter the project, we'll get you to the right metal, shape, and grade. Cut to any size, ready real fast. And yeah, we'll deliver. Leaving plenty of time for the important things, like opening an ice-cold can of aluminum. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience store for metal.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If you need a new roof, but you're not sure you can afford it, no problem. Right now, Able Roof is offering no payments, no interest until 2026 for qualified buyers. Yep, that's the same Able Roof that's been voted the #1 roofing company in Columbus by Consumer Choice Awards 22 years in a row. Want more? Able Roof will give you up to $1,000 off a new roof, siding, or windows. This is a limited time offer, so call Able Roof today.
Call Able for the proof. 444-ROOF. All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree draft beer.
All right, CB, who was listening closely in the first hour?
So congratulations to Dale, who Dale in Marysville knew the correct answer was dumpster fire, and he wished me very good luck the rest of the season.
Shout out to you, nice. Dale. Dale, you the man. Enjoy the mulch.
Thanks, Dale.
You have a date when you're going to go over there and help spread it?
Dale, if you need me, big dog, just hit up CB and I'll be there.
It's going to be a nice situation for both of you guys. All right. Take us home.
All right, let's start off with the 49ers. They're now 1-2 after that comeback win by the Rams. They're dealing with tons of injuries. I even saw Brock Purdy is dealing with a back issue. Christian McCaffrey is going over to Germany to see a specialist for his Achilles tendonitis. It's not a very good situation for the reigning NFC champions. But my question to you is, could it get late early for those 49ers?
I was kind of in the CMC save us camp. Listen, they had a 14-point lead midway through the fourth and found a way to lose. Now, in my mind, I feel like they chalked up victory and against a team. By the way, the Arizona Cardinals blew that team out, 41-10 a week earlier. I think they got in their heads. They moved on. Now, it was twice as bad because it's a division game and a conference game. So I'm not telling you they're going to absolutely run away and get this #1 seed. I do think they'll make the playoffs and have plenty of time to turn things around. There are 14 games left in the regular season. That's a ton. And here's my biggest point. There are only 2 unbeaten teams in the NFC through 3 weeks. The Seattle Seahawks and the Minnesota Vikings.
There we go.
So I'm telling you, do not sleep on San Fran. Veteran team that will find a way to crawl back into this.
See, I think what happened here, AR, is CB gave us an out with one word. Could it get late early?
It will.
Will it get late early? That's a whole nother ball game. So I'm just going to take the easy layup here and say, of course it could get late early because that injury stuff is real. Mm-hmm. The CMC stuff, that is, if I'm a Niner fan, that's terrifying. terrifying. Got to go overseas to get another opinion on that? Because I remember you and I a couple weeks ago, like right before the season started, we knew it was a calf. And we were looking at NFL Network one day, and it said calf and Achilles. And we were like, wait a minute. When did that happen? And so that's an issue. It absolutely is.
I think someone also pulled up a tweet of some video from Greenlaw, the guy that got hurt in the Super Bowl. It sounded like in practice he was dealing with some, and they called it at the time, Achilles tendonitis heading into that postseason run.
And then popped it.
Yeah. So I think they're just trying to be super careful with that.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing that offensive system has shown us is that Kyle Shanahan can infuse guys into that thing, and they're going to pop off. I mean, look at Jawan Jennings, and not even just what he did, but what they've done over years past with running backs in that system. So it could get late early, CB, but I think they always have a safe floor with their offensive identity. So they'll hang around. They'll hang around here in the coming weeks.
Just remember, it's not a lie if you believe it.
All right, great poll over on 11 Warriors. I want to use it real quick. The question was, which Big Ten team has surprised you the most this season? Your choices are Illinois, Indiana, Rutgers, or other.
It's Big Kurt. It's Big Kurt over there in Bloomington, because there was some chatter coming out of Big Ten media days. Hey, watch out for Rutgers, Watch out for Rutgers. They had a really good run game. The run game's going to be good again. They bring in Ethan Kaliak-Manis. He played at Minnesota last year. Illinois, we've seen this from Brett Bielema since he's been in Illinois, so that doesn't surprise me. But it's those Hoosiers over there in Bloomington that are really surprising me with their 4-0 start right now.
That's the right answer, and it's not to say that what Iowa did against Minnesota and all that, but the difference becomes Indiana brought in a lot of, transfer portals with a new coach, and there was a rebuild ahead for him. And now there will be bumps in the road. Let me quote Ryan Day, the storm is coming, and it probably will for Indiana. I put two things on them this season.
Yeah.
Beat Purdue and take down Michigan. You do those two things, this season is stamped a major success.
Who they got this week?
Well, and those two games, by the way, are more toward the end of the year.
They got Maryland this week at the crib.
And I'll probably be going to check them out against Nebby here during the bye.
Dylan Raiola about to get that work, huh?
Well, it's in B-Town too, so that'd be fun. They've got some fun games on their schedule. I put Curtis Rourke in party. He's been just an absolute gem of a quarterback for them so far. But you're right, Maryland at home. At NU, they should win. Nebraska would be tough. Michigan State, we'll see how beatable. They should be beatable. Honestly, I look at the schedule. You get Michigan and Purdue both at home.
10-2.
This is the season. I don't care about numbers.
They going 10-2?
Ryan Day. I'm not in the stats. Keep your eye on the prize.
Are they going 10-2?
Beat Michigan, beat Purdue.
I need you to answer this question for me. Are they going 10-2?
I was going to say 9-3.
Okay, 9-3.
Yeah.
I like that. 9-3. Okay, maybe losing the Nebraska game. Is that the one? Michigan, Nebraska, and Ohio State?
They'll lose to Ohio State. There's a chance they could lose to Michigan. And a chance they lose to Nebraska. They should win the rest.
9-3 would be a banger of a season.
Unbelievable.
It really would.
And that, my boy, is a damn truth.
Man, what a start to football season for AR. His fantasy team's undefeated. His Vikings, his Lions, Aaron Rodgers, Indiana.
It's something.
It's going great.
It's something in the air for him, isn't it, CB?
Well, it was what Nick said to me on Twitter. When that ball disappeared into the cup, some sort of curse was lifted. I had the Kavorka for a long time. I put the cloves of garlic around my neck, and things seem to be smelling better these days.
Man.
All right, let's finish off with today's fan poll. The question is this. After 3 weeks, which team do you believe will win the AFC North? You have to make your decision as of today. The Steelers, Browns, Ravens, or Bengals?
I want to hear Maddie's pick.
I know you're going to pick the Bengals. I know you're going to pick the Bengals.
I'm staying with my I'm staying with my original pick.
Here's where I'm at with this. Can the Steelers keep winning this way? That's what scares me. Like holding teams to 10 points and 13 points. I mean, they can. We've seen them do it. I'm gonna go.
Let's go all in on the flock. Because we know I'm going there. You may as well jump on in.
I picked the Bengals preseason to win this division.
You're allowed to leave that train. I'm staying on the original track. Maddie, it's time for you to get untracked and get back on track.
You did it. No. All right, I guess I'll roll with you.
Yeah, you have to.
I mean,
The truth shall set you free.
before we bounce, if you ever miss anything from our show, wherever you get your podcast, type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3 will be waiting for you. Subscribe to the Rothman and Ice podcast as well. We had Tyvis Powell on today, breaking down the Browns. We had the press conference for you, and our boy Austin Ward hitting us with his takes on the presser and everything Ohio State. If you missed that, find the pod coming up on Common Man and T-Bone. I have been told that Man and Bone have figured out a way to solve ownership problems in all of sports, so don't miss that.
All right, we'll come back tomorrow. We'll have Shefty on the program, as usually we will on a Wednesday, and a lot to talk about. Join us then. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
This promo is brought to you by Common Man and Timmy Hall's Ping Pong Game. The Fan. This is a Fan Action Update.
Saturday, Ohio State's a 25-point favorite over Michigan State. Minus 3,000 on the money line. Michigan State is 14-1 to pull off the massive upset. The total on the game is 49.5. Also Saturday night, a huge one in the SEC. Georgia is a 2-point road favorite over Alabama. Alabama plus 110 on the money line. For your action update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
At Byers Auto, we've been football fans since 1897, back when tailgates had actual tails. Our legacy of supporting our local team is as strong as our commitment to providing exceptional vehicles. While we're known for our new cars, we also offer a variety of pre-owned vehicles that meet our rigorous standards. Our friendly staff is here to help you find the perfect vehicle for your lifestyle and budget. Visit us in person or shop online at buyersauto.com. Come see why it's better to buy at Byers.
Scott from the Cleveland area has coached girls basketball and supported his granddaughter's athletic pursuits.
My granddaughters have worked hard to excel in sports. It's tough enough. So the idea that Sherrod Brown voted to allow transgender biological men to compete in girls' sports, it's unfair and dangerous. And introducing a bill to allow biological men in girls' locker rooms? Biological men to shower in my granddaughter's locker room? No way. I worry about the safety of my family constantly. Now I have to worry about Sherrod Brown's crazy liberal ideas. I thought Sherrod Brown was on my side, but he's way too liberal for me.
Sherrod Brown has let Ohio down. Now he's way too liberal for Ohio. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman for the Bath Authority. It's time to make your bath and shower something you really love. Something so great, your singing in the shower comes from a genuine place of happiness. Don't keep staring at that outdated bath, the mold, the mildew, the broken tiles. Every unit from the Bath Authority is custom built. You choose the premium accents and accessories. Right now, get free installation on your new bath or shower, plus 36 months of 0% interest. Visit thebathauthority.com. That's thebathauthority.com. A better bath awaits.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located at Mount Sterling and Marysville or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Whenever someone works on my home, I want it to be a company I can trust, that has a long-standing reputation, that you can stand behind their work, that you can build a relationship with. Well, that company for my roof, well, it was Newman Roofing. They have created a culture centered around creating an excellent customer experience for each project they are trusted with. They are committed to delivering a quality product every time, as they view each customer as a Central Ohio neighbor. At Newman Roofing, their commitment to you doesn't just end when the job is done. They're there to support you for the life of your roof, and you know you can trust them because of the longevity of their company and their family-owned. With their lifetime workmanship warranty, you feel confident that the decision to invest in your roof with Newman is going to be protected by a company that's been in business since 1992, and they're going to be around for generations more to come. So when you're looking for a repair or a full roof replacement, call the family company you can trust. Don't just get a roof, get a Newman roof, 614-NEW-ROOF.